continue to affect key staples, including rice, tomatoes, and poultry. The World Bank says it is committing about $150 million to support efforts to stabilize the sector. The funding falls under the West African Food System Resilience Program and is expected to boost production and improve market access across the country.
Ghana's food system has in recent months showed signs of strain. Rice farmers have warned of a glut, while poultry producers say they are struggling to find buyers for thousands of crates of eggs. At the same time, concerns are mounting over the country's reliance on imports, particularly tomatoes, from neighboring Burkina Faso, a key supplier of the Ghanaian market. Any disruption in supply could further drive up prices and deepen food insecurity. Stakeholders at a World Bank civil society organization engagement on food security say the situation highlights deeper structural challenges.
The agriculture sector is on the brink of a heightened food security crisis, and the sooner we act pragmatically, the better. PFAC therefore urges government to provide leadership, direction, and a clear strategy to permanently address these challenges in the short, medium, and the long term.
The agricultural economist at the World Bank Ghana, Dr. Ashwini Sebastian, says the program is targeting both production and distribution gaps across key value chains, including rice, maize, poultry, and tomatoes.
We are working on that 20 million, but we want to cluster those interventions and think about what is the proper irrigation that's sustainable to do it. But FSRP as a whole has $125 million available to invest in rice. 75 million of that is for irrigation. So we're waiting just to unlock some bottlenecks to move that part forward. We have $12 million poultry intervention with commercial poultry farmers, and it's supposed to be revolving so that it continues to grow.
The program, led by the ECOWAS in partnership with the World Bank, aims to help countries better withstand shocks such as droughts, floods, pests, and conflict.
That was a report on the World Bank committing $150 million to bolster Ghana's strained food security and improve agricultural resilience. Now, the governor of the Bank of Ghana, Dr. Johnson Pandit Isiama, has underscored the critical importance of a unified and secured digital financial ecosystem as the cornerstone of Ghana's long-term economic transformation. Speaking at a high-level industry engagement, the governor outlined a strategic vision focused on 3 developmental pillars: interoperable payment system, trusted digital infrastructure, and enhanced stakeholder collaboration.
Speaking at the official launch of the 3i Africa Summit 2026 in Accra, Governor Dr. Johnson Isiama emphasized the need to build interoperable payment systems, invest in trusted digital infrastructure, and deepen collaboration among policymakers, industry players, and investors. He noted that these are critical to drive inclusive growth, expand financial access, and ensure sustainable development of Africa's fintech ecosystem.
All these can be achieved when institutions collaborate in pursuit of outcomes that are greater than any single actor can achieve alone.
Meanwhile, Minister of Communications, Digital Technology and Innovation, Samuel Nate George, urged all stakeholders to actively participate in the upcoming SIM registration exercise. This, he noted, will help build reliable data systems that will enable digital lenders to better assess customers' creditworthiness and expand access to finance.
This is one of the key goals of our upcoming SIM registration exercise, which will allow for our digital lenders who are offering critical credit to SMEs to see and appreciate the creditworthiness of their customers. And that's why you must all take part in the upcoming SIM registration.
The 3i Africa Summit 2026 is expected to bring together policymakers, investors, and innovators to align efforts toward a more integrated and inclusive financial ecosystem across the continent.
That was a report on calls for a unified digital infrastructure to power Ghana's economy and SIM registration. Now, away from that, in a major move to protect domestic interests with a beginning digital asset space, the Securities and Exchange Commission of Ghana has outlined strict local content requirement for international crypto exchanges and tokenization firms seeking to operate in the country. Under the new regulatory framework operationalizing the virtual asset service providers, foreign digital asset firms can no longer operate as a standalone entity. To secure a license, these international players must now satisfy two non-negotiable local first conditions, thus foreign-owned company cryptocurrencies and tokenization firm are now required to have at least 30% Ghanaian shareholding. Let's take a listen to the Deputy General Secretary for SEC.
One of the key safeguards we are putting in the system is that even for international investors, like the big exchanges, the big tokenization firms who want to operate within Ghana, you cannot have license to operate in Ghana as a foreign cryptocurrency firm if you don't have a Ghanaian shareholder who owns 30%. That's the first thing, 30%. The second thing is that you cannot have a license to operate a cryptocurrency firm, no matter how big you are in other jurisdictions, if you have not set up an office here in Ghana, and your key principal directors and officers and compliance officers are Ghanaians and are operating within their jurisdiction. And so nobody can bring his machines anywhere within and come and collect money within our market and run away. And so we're putting these safeguards to ensure that we protect local investors or local people who are interested in also participating in the space. And so creating opportunities for them to participate, but also making sure that the people who are operating within the market are people who have direct visibility over, and we're able to regulate the activities properly and not people sitting elsewhere and doing whatever they want within our market.
It's now time to look at how the cedi is faring against major trading currencies and how some key commodities are also faring on the global market.
The interbank foreign exchange market, the dollar is selling at 10 cedis, 95 pesos, and lost 3 pesos. The British pound is selling at 14 cedis, 67 pesos, and lost 12 pesos. The euro is selling at 12 cedis, 69 pesos. It also lost 11 pesos. However, be guided that these figures could be higher at a forex bureau near you. The global commodities market, Brent crude is trading at $103.74 per barrel. Gold is trading at $4,463.86 per ounce, up by $56.68. Cocoa is trading at $3,235 per ton, up by $55.
Was an update from the forex and commodities markets. That'll be all for business news here on 3FM 92.7. For more news, please check our website at 3news.com. I am Enyuna Malika. Sunrise continues.
Thank you very much, Enyunam, with the 6 a.m. news as well as the business news for us this morning. And we're going to get into other matters for you. And today, quite a number of birthdays lined up for us this morning with respect to conversations and celebrating life with many of you who today are gracefully adding another age or another year onto your ages. But I'll start off with, again, the message of motivation for this morning because we felt led to, right? And today, we're asking that we reflect on something that we rarely think about. Not the life that we're currently living, but the one we didn't choose. There's a quiet truth most people overlook. For every door we walked through, there were others that we didn't. For every opportunity that worked out, there were parts that quietly closed. At the time, some of these closed doors felt like disappointment. They felt like missed chances, wrong timing, unfair outcomes, and what have you. Moments which had us wondering, why not me? But let's imagine this for a second. Somewhere out there exists a version of our lives where we got everything we thought we wanted. The job we were desperate for, the relationship we were convinced was right, and the opportunity we chased with everything that we had. And yet, that version of our lives may not be better. It may be more heavier, more complicated, more painful in ways we cannot predict, because not every closed door is a loss. Some are a form of protection, but we only realize it much later when life settles, and then we finally see the pattern. The missed flight that saved us from something, the rejection that redirected us, the delay that prepared us. At the time, it felt like things were falling apart, but in truth, some things were quietly falling into place. And so perhaps today's reflection is this: what if not everything that didn't work out was meant to be? What if some of those moments we call setbacks were actually unseen guidance? And what if part of it was peace? It is learning to trust not just what happened, but also what didn't. Because our life is not only shaped by the choices we make, it is also shaped by the parts that never opened onto us. And that is our message of motivation for this morning. We'll get us into the weather just quickly before we get into great music this morning. Kind courtesy DJ Phil. And from the Ghana Meteorological Agency, they say they are predicting a predominantly partly cloudy weather conditions for most places in the country this morning, with misty or foggy conditions forming to reduce visibility in the early hours over the forest and hilly areas. The day is expected to advance to mostly sunny weather, with hot temperatures varying across the entire country. There's also the possibility of localized thundery showers to affect few areas within the middle, transition, and portions of the northern belt later in the day. Now that we have both out of the way, let's get into our song of inspiration for the morning. Kind courtesy DJ Phil.
Let me see you wave your hands, yeah. How many grateful people do we have in the room? Can somebody give Jesus a shout?
Sunrise on 3FM.
Yeah. So we sing.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains. Sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December. How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Coming to the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music at the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December. How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Coming to the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music at the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure. Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music at the 411 and all your favorite stars, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names. Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego. We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
For you shortly, but a lot of great speeches from yesterday, starting off with the President of the Republic, who today will be moving that all-important motion on reparatory justice in declaring slave trade the gravest sin ever committed on mankind. That vote is expected today at the UN, one that has resonated quite strongly and reverberated across the length and breadth of the African continent the Americas as well, and in the UK Parliament. The expectation is that that vote will go through, and with the lead of the Black Star of Africa, it will begin the process for reparations, the payment of reparations for the African continent and the black race for the centuries of colonialism and slave trade, right? Slave trade in particular, because that is what today, hopefully by close of day, will be described the gravest ever crime, sin against mankind. But while on that, back home here in Ghana, there's been quite the debate about Big Push. The minority in Parliament yesterday addressed a news conference where they said, look, you are not providing details of these Big Push contracts, and they are shrouded in quite some secrecy, asking questions, punching holes, and concerns about soul sourcing as well, and value for money.
Even when I don't feel it is working, even when I don't know it is working, he never stopped working, he never stopped. Everybody say, even when I don't see it working.
The Minister for Roads and Highways made his way quickly to Parliament and addressed head-on the concerns from there as well. I'm going to start off first briefly with the minorities press and then the response from the minister as well quickly on the Big Push. So here's the minority on that press conference from yesterday. Then we'll listen quickly to the Minister for Roads and Highways as well.
So, suspending such a project not only undermines regional trade integration, but also weakens Ghana's position as a strategic transit and logistic gateway within the sub-region. It is therefore difficult to understand why a project of this magnitude, one that directly contributes to job creation, trade facilitation, and regional integration, should be abandoned. If decisions of the government are being influenced by the perception that the project primarily benefits the Ashanti region, then that approach is fundamentally flawed. National infrastructure must be viewed through the lens of collective benefits, not partisan or regional consideration. The NDC government has deliberately halted the project on the basis of what it claims to be doing an investigation, leading to the suspension of works. However, there's little to no evidence of any such investigation taking place on the ground. What stands at Bonkra today is more than abandoned construction site. It is a stark reminder of the consequences of discontinuity in public investment. A project that was on the verge of delivering real impact has now left in limbo, denying many young people the employment and economic opportunities it was meant to create. The side are not opposed to the policy itself. Our concern, however, lies with the process through which the initial 50 projects have been awarded, particularly given that these projects are expected to cost the taxpayers approximately 50 billion, as indicated by the President in his 2026 SONA. In this regard, we strongly believe that government must, as a matter of urgency, should publish the full details of this contract. This should include the identities of the contractors,
the specific scope of work assigned to each contractor, and the unit cost per kilometer. This will give Ghanaians the opportunity to independently assess the policy and promote transparency in infrastructure delivery. It is important to record that these are issues that the current government spoke vehemently about whilst in opposition. There is therefore a legitimate expectation that once in government, higher standards of policy transparency will be upheld. Unfortunately, the current approach appears to mirror the very practice that were previously
Sunrise
criticized.
on 3
This does
FM,
not bode
the
well for
best in the
governance
morning.
and undermine public trust. Transparency remains a cornerstone of good governance. Where processes are open and information is accessible, public confidence is strengthened and unnecessary suspicion is avoided. However, when Ghanaians perceive the decision have been taken in secrecy and things were done quietly out of public eyes, it inevitably breeds suspicion, and even in situations where no wrongdoing may have occurred, because of the lack of openness, creates room for doubt and speculation.
So that's the minority on the big push concerns and the conversation surrounding it from the House of Parliament. Here's what the Roads and Highways Ministers will have to say in relation to it.
To improve the country's road network. This has been justifiably followed by consistent questions of timeliness and from members of this House as to when the roads in their constituencies will be improved. Mr. Speaker, this is a House of record. Let me state unequivocally that all contracts awarded under the program were done in strict adherence to the Public Procurement Act and its accompanying regulations. Mr. Speaker, all contractual information is publicly available and on the ministry's website. The Big Push roads were identified, or the original Big Push project identified were just 12 major economic corridors across the country, which were christened the 12 disciples. These projects were later broken into 54 lots to foster competition and speed up implementation. Mr. Speaker, additionally, 23 road projects valued at 14.88 billion, which were awarded by the previous administration and abandoned by contractors due to lack of dedicated funding and were absorbed as part of Big Push. These projects were novated to be Big Push under the new funding. Mr. Speaker, these are some of the projects. The design and construction of Swami Interchange and ancillary works, Phase 1. Design and construction of Swami Interchange Local Road, Phase 2. Takoradi Agona rehabilitation and dualization of Takoradi Agona Junction, including 2 number dual carriageway bridges. Rehabilitation of Tepa Mabangoso Road. Reconstruction of Jini Sampa Road. Rehabilitation and upgrading of Kaswa Winneba Road. Rehabilitation of Kaswa Winneba different lots up to 3. Rehabilitation of Ofanko Nsawam Road. Design, build, and dualization of Adenta Dodowa. Upgrading of Nkwanta Otidamanko Road. Upgrading of Nkwanta Otidamanko kilometer 0 to 50.3. Upgrading of Tumu Sicily Navrongo Road. Upgrading of Tumu Chichuluga Navrongo Road. Partial reconstruction of Navrongo Chichuluga Tumu Road. Upgrading of Tumu Han Laura kilometer 45 to 70. The same all the way to upgrading of Tumu Han Laura Road and construction of National Route 8 Wa Han Laura Road. Rehabilitation of Hokwe Jasikan and then construction of Have Hokwe Road. Mr. Speaker, globally, it is globally acceptable that sole sourcing even is acceptable if in situations where there is the need to extend the implementation of works which were previously competitively procured to speed up completion. Though the 23 projects I talked about that we innovated, none of them were competitively procured. They were also sourced contracts which were innovated at the cost of 14.8 billion Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, given the scale, urgency, and national importance of this project, a mix of procurement methods were employed in accordance with the law. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that only 44% of all the major contracts included in the Big Push contract were awarded by the ministry under sole sourcing. 44%. So not what has been published by a certain online portal. We have also awarded over 400 different contracts through open competitive bidding, over 400, which is unprecedented because the record shows that from 2017 to 2024, almost all projects that the ministry carried out were sole sourced. Almost all the projects were sole sourced. It will therefore be mischievous for any right-thinking member of society to conclude that the Ministry of Road and Highways only procures work through sole sourcing. Mr. Speaker, I have already mentioned the deplorable state of the road network across the country we inherited from our colleagues. This had brought untold hardship to the motoring public and contributed massively to the food inflation. This led to public agitation and the survival of the state. Mr. Speaker, something needed to be done and done urgently. Mr. Speaker, with dedicated funding already secured under the Big Push program, was both prudent and necessary to proceed swiftly to ensure value for money and avoid cost overruns associated with long procurement and implementation timelines. Mr. Speaker, most of the project would not have started until date if we hadn't adopted a faster route. Mr. Speaker, the following projects, for example, wouldn't have been continued or started. The Kaswa-Winneba and then Kaswa Interchange Road, which is in my good friend, the minority leaders constituency. The dualization of Winneba Cape Coast, the Swami Interchange project, which was stalled, but now has gotten a new life. The Kumasi Outer Ring Road and the Ofanko Nsawam Road are part of this. Mr. Speaker, we put in place the following mechanisms to ensure value for money in terms of cost, quality, and longevity. Contrary to the practice under previously under the Big Push program, agencies did their own survey, design, costing, and saving billions. Mr. Speaker, I say this because in the past, this project would have been designed and built. Mr. Speaker, by asking the agencies to actually do our design costing, we have saved at least 5% of the cost of the project. So we started saving money on this project, making sure that the country gets the best in terms of the value for money. Contractors were then invited to submit proposals. Their proposals were then subjected to independent value for money assessment. We have instituted a stricter monitoring and cost control mechanisms to ensure we only pay for work
Sunrise
done.
on 3FM, the best in the morning.
We have now established a system where no contractor will walk away with a cedi without working for it. Mr. Speaker, we have also reached an understanding with the Ghana Institution of Surveyors to develop a local capacity of members to be licensed as independent value for money auditors. Mr. Speaker, it is important to point out the deliberate falsehood that rely on simplified metrics such as cost per kilometer without considering the scope of works. Mr. Speaker, for the avoidance of doubt, under the recent leadership of President Mahama, road projects have not been unjustifiably suspended or terminated. The huge unpaid debt of over 40 billion has also received attention of the government. Over 11 billion has been paid so far to contract all awarded or inherited from our brothers from the other side. The government has not abandoned any ongoing project. Mr. Speaker, indeed, the Accra-Kumasi bypass project have not been abandoned. Indeed, we have completed one of the lots and have taken it over. Mr. Speaker, the rest of the lots have been programmed to be budgeted for in the 2027 budget if Parliament approves. However, Mr. Speaker, the cost to complete, including the outstanding debt of the Kumasi bypasses is estimated at 6 billion Ghana cedis today. Mr. Speaker, let me state emphatically that when it comes to the Big Push program, Parliament exercised continuous oversight. Questions are answered regularly on the floor of the House. Independent professional bodies validated the project cost. Procurement processes complied with established legal framework. There is no abuse of the sole sourcing program. Unlike previous, it is exception and not the norm. Indeed, no procurement law or any other law has been breached, and definitely there is no scandal. Mr. Speaker, the implementation of the Big Push program. No, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Speaker, I call on Mr. Speaker, I say this as a matter of fact. I am not responding to anybody except those who are falsifying information on social media. Mr. Speaker, the NDC did not award over 70 billion cedis worth of work under the Big Push. Indeed, we said 54 billion of that was for new works, and then the 23 projects were projects that we inherited, costing another 14.8 billion. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, there's spurious information online that 76%
Honorable
of Big
Minister,
Push
just go ahead with your
projects
statement.
were sole sourced is also false. Only about 44% of those projects were procured through sole sourcing. And I state on record, Mr. Speaker, we are making progress as a House and as a country to make sure that much of our procurement is done competitively. But that is why I'm saying that those who claim to have done this so-called analysis based on data we submitted to them freely didn't help the country. Because if they did due diligence, they would have known that those percentages they put outside were pure fabrications and false. And indeed, Mr. Speaker, President Mohammed's government has taken steps to improve the procurement process. And as a matter of fact, as I said, I'm not having a go at our colleagues on the other side. I say that today as a minister, almost the 110 billion cedis worth of projects we inherited were all procured through sole sourcing. I don't blame them, Mr. Speaker. I sat on this side of the House not too long ago when the people of Swami were demonstrating against the respected former leader, Honorable Chairman Sabonsu. I supported the fact that we should procure the Swami interchange through sole sourcing because it was urgent and we needed to do it. When the motorway was awarded to Motor Angels, a foreign company, and they couldn't raise the financing, I was one of the first people to say that let's terminate the work and get a Ghanaian contractor to do it. In this House, we also agreed that that project should also be awarded on sole sourcing to the contractor Maripoma. Mr. Speaker, I say this simply because the impression is that when we were in opposition, we said nothing about sole sourcing was good, and when we were now in government, we are doing the opposite. Mr. Speaker, what I presented to you today shows that everything has to be done in context. What I will say here, Mr. Speaker, majority, all Big Push projects are on site and are ongoing, and by the end of 2027, Mr. Speaker, you will see a lot of completed road projects that would enhance our economy, make our roads safer, and this is why I tell colleagues, let us work together to make sure that we protect the Big Push. Let us not fall for any agenda of anybody outside of this House. This is the House of Parliament. The debate, the formulation of policy of anything that has to do with governance stands here and not anybody outside. And I want to take the opportunity to thank the entire country for the support they've given to Big Push. President Mahama is not in the business of skewing anything to disadvantage the people of Ghana. Big Push projects are on site, they are ongoing, and shall be completed on schedule and on budget. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. I have here, Mr. Speaker, that I will table all the advertisement of all the projects we advertised, over 400 of them, competitively and awarded. So those who are taking, let's say, 70 projects and using that to strike out at the difference, this is the information I have for you. Majority of the projects we are embarking on were actually procured through competitive bidding. Mr. Speaker, I also mentioned that all that we are doing with regard to the Big Push project are already on our website, so we are not concealing any information in terms of the description of the project, the scope of work, the name of the contractor, the day the contract starts, and when it's expected to be completed is there. So nobody has gotten a scoop, and indeed, Mr. Speaker, there is no scandal about the Big Push.
That's the roads minister, says there's no scandal in relation to the Big Push. Sixtus, Ullo, Johnnie, Hughes, all in studio with us this morning. And it was very important that that played for long in terms of the explanation. I don't know what any of you have made of it, this particular story and the reaction, because I felt it was more of what you have is what you use for the story, but you didn't have the full picture.
Yeah.
Right? And so it kind of looks like, yes, they were seeking to tell a story, but no criticism whatsoever, but this is what they had per the RTR request they put in. If I put in an RTR request as to all the contracts in relation to Big Push, and I get 107 or so, and majority of them is sole sourcing, I put up a story and I say a majority of Big Push contracts are sole sourced. Would you say that was not good enough in terms of journalism? That's the question I'm asking, and that's what I've been seeking to box around in my mind since the minister's explanation yesterday, because it says over 400 contracts went through competitive tendering.
I am thinking about it from a good morning, by the way, multi-sectoral or if you like, a multi-point. First, you listen to the minority, and flowing from the story by the Fourth Estate, or the expose, as some have called it, by the Fourth Estate. You get a sense by the minority that, well, finally we have something to chew on. We've been looking for a scandal, and now finally we have something to chew on. But it was the same minority that brought us the year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads. And we all know by the time that Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo and Dr. Bawumia were leaving office with another road minister, who came to swap with Mr. Mawuena, we all knew the state of our roads. A classical example is that of Fanko and Sawampo-Kwasi Road. People were complaining. Papa Bisu will call into this show almost every day and talk about Shipontele and all those places. We all saw the speed with which that particular road came up, and many others that are coming up across the country, and people are now, if you like, the de facto public relations officers of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. So listening to the minority on that score about roads being done and speedily so, I cringed a bit. Then listening to the minority again, they talk about projects that have been suspended. But I remember in 2017, the Cocoa roads, they were all suspended. You remember? And we said we're going to do an audit. You remember? Where is the audit? And what did we find? And why did we disadvantage the people, even though we had a year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads? That's a conversation that we must have. Mawuena, you also remember the conversation about the fact that each time you spoke about roads not being in the best of shapes, you were told to open your eyes and hurry up. In fact, in the dying days of the Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo government, 15 million Ghana cedis was earmarked for pothole patching. You remember that? So when you listen to the minority now trying to play all holy and trying to now find fault because a news portal had brought something, I cringed a bit. But it is within their rights to ask the questions.
Absolutely.
And I have told this government that don't repeat the mistakes that President Akufo-Addo and his team did. Because if not, you will face a much more humiliating defeat than what they did. So that's one. Now, let's look at Fourth Estate. Rightly so, you put it, Fourth Estate did not have perhaps the full picture. But they thought, well, we had something. Was Fourth Estate in this country when between 2017 and 2024, nearly all the contracts that were given for roads were so sourced? Did they find anything strange about it? It's a journalistic question.
Right.
If you are asking questions now, did you ask questions then about the sole source nature or what looked like sole sourced, or what looked like single source, or however you want to put it, did they have a problem with it?
I'm not going to answer for them. I know it's rhetorical.
I'm trying to build a point. Did they have a problem with it? If they did not have a problem with it, they have a problem with it now. Touché, that's fine. It's good to ask, and it's good for us to make progress. But what is the real motive behind asking the question?
So,
because whatever intentions happened between 2017 and 2024 cannot be any different from what happened now. President Mills says the fact that times have changed doesn't make right wrong and wrong right. So they are asking the question today. Fine. But did they have the full picture, like you asked?
Yeah.
And the minister yesterday, listening to him in Parliament, said, look, all these contracts that they are talking about are on our website.
If you go into, I tried to go into
I looked at the website and I saw it as well. So they are on the website. That's one. Two, the minister said, we are looking at speed, we are looking at quality, we're looking at improving the lives of the people, we're looking at improving transportation, and we're looking at improving the economy. These were about the 5 reasons that he listed, which suggests how, these contracts had been occasioned. And across the country, people are now beginning to talk. I mean, that just was it last Saturday or so, last Friday? A friend of mine said he's going to his village up north.
He said construction is everywhere.
And he said he is going to use the Eastern Corridor, the same Eastern Corridor road that when people use, they come back with their V8s looking like, they have not taken it to a mechanic. He said he used that road and came back and did not have the problems that he used to have. Because the truth of the matter is that if you use the inland, use the Kumasi, Sunyani, Tichima road, it will take you forever. But if you use the Eastern Corridor road, it's easier. And the people around that side of town have been calling for it. By all means, if the figures are inflated, let's ask questions. Let's bring Kwame Agboja to the center to answer the questions. But you cannot be launching such an agenda on the back of a group of people who told us that we have year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads, and we didn't see the roads, and we had to be visiting mechanic shops every now and then, and suddenly they want to start preaching the people. Look, we have not forgotten.
Let me interject here.
I'm coming. The people of Ghana have not forgotten.
Absolutely.
What we were taking through. My wife's family home is at Pokwasi. For those who don't know, I'm saying it on air today. And I know that Pokwasi road
very well,
and I use it very, very well.
From the days you were chasing her.
I know how much. Yes, of course. And I know how much. And I know how much Rana Motors charge me whenever I take 2-3 trips there, and I go to Rana Motors. So nobody now, when I'm going there, I'm doing jolly right. So nobody can convince me otherwise.
Right.
That something good is not happening in my life.
Mawuena.
Fair point.
If there is a cost to it that you find suspicious, I will join you to ask the question.
Fair point.
But until that point, don't come and be telling me that the work is happening so speedily. So you didn't want the work to happen speedily. That's why we were doing tortoise movement with it.
Can I take you to the law?
Let me. No, you take us to the law. But I'm asking this question as well, and my line of thinking may have been moved. But what if, right, in terms of what was done, and I've asked the question as to whether or not it was the full picture which was given or not, that
in terms of the Fourth Estate story,
on the campaign trail, right, this government, and there are copious videos of government of communication persons making commentary about sole sourcing and how contracts were inflated. Right? That is the narrative from opposition into government. That was the position of the NDC. Right? And backed by Auditor General's reports which said contracts were inflated and all that. We saw the government's position where they say we are going to move away from that.
Right.
Then they come into government. They begin a big push agenda. We say, give us details of these contracts. Then you give me the details, and the details that I have, which is 107 plus of such contracts, a majority of them are sole sourced. From a journalistic point of view, there's a cause to ask question, but you said you weren't going to do this in opposition. Why are you doing it now and doing it in the numbers?
Very fair question to ask.
You see, but again, I believe that is the position. That's why I said the full picture perhaps was not provided.
1 minute.
That's the context.
1 minute. You see, the context is fair. That John Mahama and his team said, we are not going to do sole sourcing when we get power, right? That's what.
Not completely. They said they were going to move away from it and ensure it doesn't dominate.
Move away from it. That was what they said. And I'm saying that, to be fair, Fourth Estate was also in this country. President Akufo-Addo, before he became president, he said his exact words, and I showed that tweet here. He said sole sourcing will be a thing of the past. Fourth Estate has not died or did not die.
Oh, they came doing it.
I am king. And they were, yes, and they were around. And Fourth Estate did not breathe a word. And I'm saying, if not 95% of the contracts under President Akufo-Addo were so sourced. Did Fourth Estate ask the man who said it will be a thing of the past a question? Did they put in an RTI request? Motive, agenda setting, priming, and framing. We learned it in school. Motive.
Okay, Mawuena.
6.
I like the context you created. And to be fair to the Fourth Estate, that should be the context, at least for those of us.
No, I read the story.
Yes,
so that was the context.
The context, at least for those of us watching from the outside, that should be the context of the story. Now, the public procurement laws of Ghana do not demonize sole sourcing as a procurement method. Again, they do not ban sole sourcing or what most of us call single sourcing as a procurement method. In fact and indeed, the laws allow the authority or the procuring authority an opportunity to choose from one or two methods, but encourages and promotes competitive bidding as a procurement method for the single reason of transparency, accountability, as most of us would love to say, probity and accountability. So the spirit of that law is to ensure that we do not have Mawuena as head of Sunrise Morning Show putting in a request to procure microphones when the microphones could have been procured at 100 Ghana cedis per head. He puts in a request that says each of them is 1,000 cedis per head. So the question will be asked, in financial management and prudence, could we have had a better offer that works or performs the job optimally at a cheaper cost? That's the spirit of competitive bidding. Now the law also says that there may be, in as much as we encourage and promote competitive bidding, there may be circumstances under which competitive bidding may not readily be possible or an option. In the circumstances, it may not be an option. So under those defined circumstances, then the procuring authority, in this case Mawuena, can call up his friend Franklin Okulu, who is in the technical space, and tell Franklin that I am procuring microphones for Sunrise, but for 1, 2, 3 reasons, I cannot leave it open to everybody to compete. One of those reasons may be time. So, I know you. I've done business with you before in the past. I know your quality. I know your standards. So, I beg you, can you supply me 5 heads of microphones? Let me know your rates so we can do business. So Franklin submits his rates to Mawuena. Mawuena looks at the rates and says that we can do this, we cannot do this, reduce this for us, or well, these are reasonable enough based on the quality that you are presenting or you are giving us. Okay, so let's go ahead and do business. That is single sourcing. You sit down, you call up somebody, and even in that single sourced method or procedure, you are still minded by value for money. You are still minded by productivity of the equipment that you are procuring. So it's not that, because it's so sourced, everything is thrown to the dogs. Now, if you go to Section 40 of the Public Procurement Act, it talks about the conditions under which this can happen. And exclusivity of rights is one of them. There are contracts that are given or grants that are awarded for the construction of certain projects. And the person giving you the grant or words may fail me, or the loan will tell you that I want this particular material to be sourced from this particular site.
Conditions precedent.
Or I want 30% of the construction staff to come from this side.
To this person.
Exactly. So that may also come up. I've already mentioned the timeousness of the works or the procurement. That's agency. Mawuena, you need the microphones like yesterday.
Yeah.
But if you put it through a competitive bidding, that whole process is going to take you like 5 months.
Yeah.
Add the monies that the committee that will sit on the thing to look at the document will take.
Bam. So the committee that is sitting down is also not sitting down for nothing. You would have to enable the committee to sit. We all know what that grammar means. Meanwhile, you need a thing yesterday.
But is it not the doing of our own politicians?
I agree with you. Mawuena, allow me to run through the factors. I'm trying to let us situate this whole conversation. In fact, there are even talks. You see, one of the conditions, they said national security. Is also a consideration. It's also a consideration, national security, whether the contract would involve research, experiments, or things that have security considerations.
That's for national security. National security is national security.
It is that unruly bulldog that none of us can ever describe, but we take it as it is. It is like when the lawyers talk about public policy. It is
public policy can be anything.
It can be anything. So there are a lot of other. They even said that under disaster, you can sole source. So all these are considerations that you would have to consider. You have to look at. And so going forward, you ask the question that they put in the request, they got a number of contracts that were awarded within the period, and they realized from the DEX research that all of these went through single source process. If I were the editor or the person running the story, if it escaped the person running the story, the writer of the story, then the editor would push the person to ask, what were the conditions under which these projects were procured single sourced? That is a critical question to that analysis. So, it is good that we want to bring up and compare to the campaign promise. This is the campaign promise. This is what you seem to be doing whilst in government. And that appears to go contrary to the campaign promise. Now, in between that, let us ask the question, were the conditions met? If the conditions were not met, why were the conditions not met? And all of these would enrich the expose.
And what are the consequences? You see, the conversations about some of these things always ends at the point where, oh, the contract has been inflated. But is it my doing? Is it your doing? Is it Sixtus's doing or Phil's doing? It is not our doing. We all know, yet we pretend, that when people are giving contracts and they raise certificates, it takes forever. So I've gone to my beloved ADB to go and contract a loan as a road contractor. ADB has given me the money and given me a period to pay and showed me what their interest rates are. And I have signed on to it. I've taken the money to come and pre-finance government's contracts, and I've finished. And then I have actually filled my certificates and taken it to government.
Yeah, waiting payment.
And it is taking forever. So if I am a contractor, I will factor in all that waiting period and how much I would originally have to pay the bank and what that waiting period means in terms of affecting my business and my dealings with the bank. And I will gladly add it to it because I didn't occasion the delay. So I will add it to it.
But that comes at an increasing cost.
Yeah, but I'm saying that if I'm dealing with you, Mawuena, and I say, look, the smoke you're wearing now, I can procure you an orange version.
I would love that.
Good. At a certain fee.
It's just an example.
No, I'm saying I would love that, but not at a certain fee. You just procure it for me.
At a certain fee, within a certain period.
Yeah.
We agree. But then you ask me to pre-finance it, and I go and buy the thing. I travel all the way to my beloved Dagban to go and bring the thing for you. I bring the thing, you have collected the thing, you have won the thing. Now it's time to pay, and you are keeping me till December. So based on that experience that I have, in 2027, when you ask me in March to go and procure you a fugu, I say, oh, no problem. Now I will add the waiting period because somebody from the Dagban place will also be giving me pressure. So I shall just add on to it.
Is that what the contractor
but they themselves have said it.
Contributes.
They have said it too many times. That's one. Two, there was an instance in this country, if you remember, there was a meeting at Alisa Hotel where road contractors who had waited for about 2-3 years and had actually incurred a lot of costs were told to discount whatever was owed them so they would be paid. You remember that? Alisa Hotel. I had gone to Abele and pay Dimayansa to go and eat with my friend Asempa. 2 gentlemen came to us. Tall gentlemen like Ifo Kwame Jakpaso and Mr. Nyama. Very tall gentlemen. They came to us and they said they are contractors. They showed us their ID card. They showed us some work they had done on their phone. They showed us their machines. Some had, tractors, excavators, all blah, blah, blah. And 2 gentlemen, grown-up men who employ people, that day, they wept before us. Because they had just left a meeting where they were told to discount whatever is owed them by 15%.
You see?
For them to pay. I'm coming. For them to pay.
Yeah.
Now, this 15%, let's say they went for 100 million from Bank A.
Aboka.
Now, I think it was Fidelity Bank that was supposed to be making the payments. They had gone for money from Bank A. Bank A said what do you call it, Hamid? The interest rate is maybe 35%, 40%, 45%. We went beyond that. Now he's taking the money, done the work. 2-3 years down the line, he's called into a meeting to say, whatever it is that we owe you, discount it so that we pay you. What it means is that his capital
is gone.
That he used is gone. And then he now has to go and look for extra money to go and sort the bank out. If not, the bank will come and collect his tracts and all his things, and the people who depend on him and his work and everything will be gone.
Those are the real dangers.
So the contractor in this country knows it. I will be happy for a day when we know that Sixtus is a contractor. He has gone for a facility from a bank. He has gone to do government contract, and he has raised the certificate, and the certificate is audited. Somebody goes on the road to say, and within a month, his money lands on his
payment
table.
Certificates are issued, and
then Roads Minister, I hope you are listening.
Then we can start making the arguments that are being made now about inflation of contract. Until that time, And we all know, look, if you want to buy, if you want to buy,
there's a kickback aspect.
you can have a kickback aspect, and the kickback aspect actually comes when sometimes you have, and the contract. Look, I have conversations with contractors. Sometimes they have prepared their certificates, maybe 3, 4, 5 certificates put together. They have to be paid their monies. Somebody will tell them that, Charlie, this one, if you don't put stone on the envelope, it will not go anywhere. So
is it the NPP contractors or the NDC contractors?
I don't know, but they know themselves. and you know that the person keeps going to the ministry every day. You go to the ministry, and usually at the reception, you find many of them there, frustrated, dejected, and some of them just maybe about some 5-kilometer road, some 3-kilometer road, and you're wondering what's going on. So we know what the problem is. We just pretend. And then when we finish, we say we are doing expose and we are doing press conferences. It puts me off. Look, the NDC in opposition had elements within their party doing the same thing. The MPP in opposition now have elements within their party asking the same questions. So who will come and answer that big question for us? That's what we are looking for. Because for us, the citizens, we have paid our taxes. You have used our name to go and contract loans. You have used our name to go and seek for grants, whatever it is. We just expect our roads to be fixed. We don't want to be taking our cars to the workshop every 2-3 days. We want our roads to be fixed. We don't want tomato sellers telling us that when they were bringing tomato from Burkina Faso, the trucks broke down and they had to go and call somebody to fix it. So they've added on the extra cost to every box of tomato or onion or tripe or whatever it is that they are bringing to us. We don't want a situation where you will have people say, oh, we have finished farming, the things are at the farm gates, we can't get the route from the farm gates to the market, it's not properly, it's not accessible, it's not more trouble, and so we cannot bring it. So if we find somebody to drag it and bring it, we will add the cost to it. We don't want that. All we want is that our roads are fixed and the politicians and the technocrats know what to do. My final point, Mawuena, let the politicians leave the technocrats alone to do their work. Let the politicians leave the technocrats alone to do their work. Let the politicians leave the technocrats alone to do their work.
Is the technocrat a politician?
Well, the technocrat could be a politician, but I'm sure that for the very first time, if we know that this person is a technocrat first, before masquerading or metamorphosing into a politician, we can then ask him questions. Master, where does your allegiance lie? Because we are paying you responsibility allowance and all of those allowances.
The politician
and neutrality
running,
allowance.
The politician running the ministry, department, or agency knows that the technocrat is a political opponent in a sheep's clothing.
Right.
What will happen?
Transfer.
That is why.
Transfer.
That is why technocrats must remain neutral.
That's right.
As the word means, neutral.
That's right. That's right.
Right, let's get into the papers this morning. I'll start off with the Daily Graphic and the big banner story. Slavery is criminal. President Mahama declares at UN tables motion for reparation. Voting today is a big one. A story by Pakume Emmanuel Dameli in the US of A from New York, to be specific. Controller partners banks to develop digital payment platform. Damang Mine Ministry commits to competitive bidding to select investor. Stanbic Bank launches Obasima to finance women's businesses. Ministry on the back page, that's where I am now. Ministry steps up efforts to tackle flood and housing deficit. EU presents military equipment to National Security Council Secretariat. Daily Gist, NDC dishes 5,000 police slots to activists. Hey. Comes with a picture of Muntaka.
Your man says, hey.
Because
the
story is by Isa Olegu. Says a fresh twist has emerged in the ongoing controversy surrounding recruitment into the security services as internal party arrangements within the NDC appear to be moving toward allocating opportunities to party loyalists amid mounting pressure from frustrated grassroots supporters and earlier government insistence on merit-based recruitment. The development follows weeks of tension. Now, okay, so they say according to impeccable sources, While Ghanaians were observing the long Salah break, the NDC leadership at the constituency level was busily compiling a list of 5,000 applicants to fill the new space recruitment from 5,000 to 10,000. The list was allegedly submitted to the Interior Minister on Monday for processing. At the initial stages of the controversy, the minister, who had come under attack, strongly defended the recruitment process, insisting it will be strictly merit-based. Okay, so they say impeccable sources. It's saying this. Let me continue the headlines. Mahama resets economy is broke. Government borrows cash to pay workers. Minority petitions OSP Shraj CID over gold board deal with Stan Dogbe. Tema, plane crash victims to be buried on Saturday. And Roads Minister awards 81 sole source contracts in 7 months, amounting to 73 billion cedis. Baumia speaks at LSE Africa Summit on AI. The last one I have is a Daily Post. President Mahama leads wreath laying ceremony in honor of enslaved Africans. It comes with a picture of the president holding a wreath, and people are talking about the dress code of the president, and it was very spot on. He had some very dark.
The president, he doesn't take it lying down.
He had very dark glows on, and
when he's going out there
dark
to
shades and all of
UN and all those places,
please show them the.
It goes to show love.
Yes.
Yeah. If it's not Fugu, he's wearing gloves. It's not gloves.
This is our president.
Yeah. So that's the president. On the back page, like always, they have a lot of, in terms of the gallery as well, the pictures from that UN event. There's a bit more on the front page. First Lady in Washington for fostering the Future Together Summit. Transatlantic slave trade was designed to deny Africans their humanity. That's according to the president. Collective safety of West African countries rests on cooperation and shared responsibility, says Ahmed Ibrahim. And Damang Mine Lands Minister Amakufibwa commits to competitive bidding process. Gentlemen?
Well, the Cathedral and Metropolitan Church of Christ in Canterbury this day will be hosting the installation of the 106th Archbishop of Canterbury, the very first lady, Sarah Elizabeth Mulali, the Annunciation of our Lord to the Blessed Virgin Mary. Today, the 25th of March, 2026, 3 p.m., the Archbishop of Canterbury, 106th, will be outdoored to the whole world. And I feel very, very proud.
Congratulations to her.
To her and to the Anglican
church.
Yeah.
Yes.
The Daily Banner newspaper this morning says Asanteman Koka calls for Offenso University opening as facilities deteriorate, sir. Okay, Mahama visits Nobi Agriculture, spotlighting the promise of Ghana's agricultural future. Was it before he left, or he visited it while he was still there? Minority demands transparency in big push contracts. It's their right so to do. Dummy and partners file misconduct petition against police officer. And on the back page of the Daily Banner newspaper, Williams Thomas Asante withdraw from Ghana squad for Austria Germany friendlies, and Senegal appeal to
Ghana withdraws from
Williams Thomas Asante. They have withdrawn from the Ghana squad for the Austria
Brandon Thomas Asante is a
Germany friendlies.
Inaki Williams.
If it's Williams and it's Inaki Williams.
No, Inaki Williams and Brandon Thomas Asante. Yeah, they said we won't play with Austria and Germany for any friendly match. Go and sit down. I don't know. Go and sit down. Senegal appealed to CAS seeking reinstatement as AFCON 2025 champions. Charlie, they are not letting this matter lie down. Charlie, but can you imagine you won an award and they come and tell you, oh, Charlie, the award, no, this is for Mawuena. So Phil, if you can give it to us, so we can give it to Mawuena as well. Next year we'll try and see if you win.
It never will happen.
It won't happen. If you lose it now, you have lost it forever.
We have put the thing in our neighbor house. Come and collect it.
Come and collect it.
Come and collect it.
The Overseer newspaper this morning says a Greek minister fires back at Fabag over tomato crisis. Ghana signs security partnership with the EU to tackle regional threats. Agboja exposes fourth estate. Minority hatchet job on big push. And Mahama visits Nobi farms as private investment drives agricultural growth. Tamayo refinery's remarkable comeback from crisis to top government performer comes with a photo of Edmond Combat, and I can't but imagine the hairline that is receding nicely. Mahama, transatlantic slave trade, a crime that must be recognized. And the Ghanaian Times, the final one for me this morning, says no excuse for slave trade. President Mahama tells the United Nations. Also, Daman Mine, Land Ministry open to competitive bidding process, according to the Minister for the sector, Dr. Ama Kofi Boa. And let's collectively tackle regional challenges. Ahmed Ibrahim is our Minister for Local Government. Also, big push project. Roads Minister dismisses claims of sole sourcing. Somebody will say attention. The Ghanaian Times on the back page also says stakeholders call for urgent food labeling policy as kidney diseases rise. Kwabena Minta Kando is the MP for Dwaboso. He's also Minister for Health. Comes to the photo. A story by Stephanie Birikurang. And Ghana Standards Authority clamps down on substandard paints in Accra. They are still on it. You see, I don't know why the Ghana Standards Authority is not going to the importers and is going to the retailers. Because people bring these things into the country.
The entry point is where you should.
And people manufacture these things in this country. So go to them. If I have my 100,000 and I've gone to rent a shop and I bought some paint and put in there, how would I know that this one is good or it's not good? Me, it's once it's on the market and it's at the wholesale, I will buy and come and sell because people, there's a demand for it.
Absolutely, that's a fair point. On this paint matter, I'm very particular about it, and the point you make is very, very important. I think the Food and Drugs Authority and the Ghana Standards Authority have to not Food and Drugs Authority, the Standards Authority. They really have to be up and doing, because when you allow the items to get onto the market and people buy it, you cannot go back and, yes, by all means, go back and go, because you see, Johnny, the paints are dangerous. You buy paint and you paint
start
inhaling lead, and then
poison.
They'll say, oh, he's very fit, so he goes to then suddenly you have cancer, you have this, you have that, you have a kidney failure and all of that. So it's very important. But the Standards Authority, please, you can't allow the substandard paints to get onto the markets to start off with.
At all.
You see, yesterday,
it should not have
yesterday
been
in
there.
the newsroom, I was talking about reactive actions rather than, or instead of proactive actions. It's like we all always wait for the horse to bolt. Then we start running after it.
And you see,
then
the poor people
we carry
are the ones who
cameras.
suffer.
We carry cameras, we run to the place to show that we are working, but we are actually not working. If we were working, we wouldn't have been in the market. That clampdown would have happened at the entry point.
That's right.
Not at the marketplace.
Yeah. You see,
they're not even going after the manufacturer. Yes.
Yeah.
You get it off the
but
retail
go
shops.
For them. Tell us that.
Go for the people who are manufacturing the paint.
And people who import
importing
them
it.
into the country.
Few of them would succeed in slipping through the cracks onto the market.
Yes.
Those are the ones you eventually have to go after.
Yeah.
But it's like all the time, Sudan died. We are in the market with cameras.
Yeah.
How did they get there?
You see, again, it comes back to, you remember this oil thing and all these trucks that were intercepted by national security and FD and all of that. This is an example of it. People at the ports declare that, we are not going to sell it in Ghana. We are going to Burkina Faso. And before you know it, the things are on the market. Mawuena, sometimes you go to a supermarket or you go to the regular market, maybe Kaneshi or Malamata, you find a nice bar of chocolate. And then when you buy the chocolate and you look at you look at the back, you can't, there's nothing there for you to read.
Sometimes the goods there are expired.
No, but what's there is Chinese, Mandarin, is some Indian language, some Turkish thing. There's no English. So how do you know even the ingredients?
The ones on the medication,
yes,
right?
And how do you know if you are allergic to any of the things in there? It's just there and it's on the market. And it's actually cheaper than our favorite golden tree. So, it's cheaper than our favorite golden tree. So what do? You want to eat chocolate, but you don't have golden tree money. But there's chocolate available for you to that you can afford.
Chocolate.
Yes. You know,
let me take you to the News Center newspaper, edited by Elvis Darko. On the front page, it says public debt jumps $11.9 billion from $49.4 billion in 2024 to $61.3 billion in 2025. So the leap is what is captured here. The difference of 11, almost $12 billion. MTN to disburse 6.4 billion. MTN to disburse 6.4 billion in Ghana cedis in 2025. Dividends, 44% of major roads contracts sole source. Abuja is pictured here, and rail project stall as only 73 million Ghana cedi allocated in 2 years. That story is on page 6. We keep talking about alternative transport system, something that would let the trotro drivers stop flexing us. Unfortunately, we are not putting our pockets.
In fact, yesterday I was watching a clip from the Netherlands, and then you find the median. You see, when you are coming from the Adenta, Medina area, from the mountain, you see how wide the medians are. I saw wide medians like that in Netherlands, and in the middle of that median, you had a electric train nicely moving through it, and then on the road itself, buses.
You have the trotro moving.
And I said, oh, this one we can do it. Oh, so
what is holding us back?
What is holding us?
When the Honorable Atachian promised you people sky trains, you said it was not possible.
No, but I was thinking that if the sky train was out there running on electricity and the ECG decides that I'll do my thing, and you'll be hanging, you'll be hanging at Paloma, you'll be looking at Nima.
We just send you food. You know how we used to collect food from Commonwealth Hall?
Yeah. They'll fly the food to you.
They'll fly the food to you. That's how.
You see, that sky train thing, from the onset, every Ghanaian.
Charlie, the matter they've got to slow down.
The funny thing is that he's defending a different person on a different matter. He's always in court.
It's okay.
Can I continue with the headline? No, it's okay. Let me continue.
Because
it's okay lah.
Everybody knew the sky train was not going to work.
But
and yet we were being told.
No, but we would like to hear lofty stuff.
You are the naysayers, the Tobias and the doubting Thomases that would never make this country progress.
The normal train staff, we didn't have it running.
See,
and operation.
You know,
we were
objection. The normal train was running. It was running. They procured new trains.
That was a tram. There's a difference between a train and a tram. Short put train. Look, it was the same thing we did with the COVID. You know, remember COVID app? We knew it was not going to work, but we procured it.
Exactly.
Jack, where are you?
Some of the things
we knew it was not going to work, but we procured it.
When you sit around, you know that not that we don't deserve it, but at the present state,
are not right.
Respectfully, a sky train, everybody around the table knew that it wasn't, because
the real one is
still
struggling.
Asking for rails. They're asking, put a rail from here to here. We haven't finished that.
In fact,
then do you understand the infrastructure for a sky train?
In fact, the then government actually promised under Mr. Jogati, promised that we're going to have a rail line from Takrady to Paga. You remember that? He didn't talk about it again until he left office.
You know,
but he came to tell us that we're going to have from Western region to Paga.
The funny thing about all of this was that there was a whole ministry, an entire ministry,
a railway ministry,
which was headed by eventually headed by three strong men from the deputies. And two deputies.
Yes.
To signify the government's priorities.
And for me, that is where I believe that there should be some national learning. Look, the Ghanaian wants development, but don't make certain promises.
Charlie, people fly in
Where
this country every day on their own at night.
Around the
without
table,
the aid of a sky train.
around the table, we are not. You see. And that for me, that was the
much as I agree
because
with
at
you,
the time, if we go back, at the time they mentioned SkyTrain,
in as much as
everybody around the table was of the opinion that SkyTrain, the trains are you get it.
Really is the other way.
You get it. Like we need to be.
I don't get it, and I disagree with you, Mawuena. That is why we created a full ministry to focus on the job.
Me, I'm not doing mischief. I'm saying that
not doing mischief.
When you see when we sit,
it looks like the guy's head.
No, when we sit,
can I continue with the headlines?
When we sit around the table for national discourse development, let us be realistic.
But Mawuena, I can imagine.
You have to be realistic. You can't there are schools and there are so many.
Mawuena, I can imagine that they had an opening prayer before they started talking about SkyTrain.
You know, we don't have a train which is bringing people from the second largest city to Accra. We don't have that.
Yeah.
We don't have from Takoradi Port to here. I don't know if that rail line is working.
No, it's
we
not.
We don't have that.
It's not working.
Then someone sits and thinks a brilliant idea is a sky train.
Like the Ullo River.
I'm sorry.
Like the Ullo River.
How is that something that comes to
Charlie,
you?
the Ullo River.
I don't get it.
At this point,
Charlie, the Ullo River.
Paracetamol for your man.
And we are not there. Like, put one from here. My brother is in Kumasi. He works in Kumasi. When we talk about rent, how much he pays for rent
in Kumasi?
Same type of property you. I'm like, you are ahead because you are paying about 4 or 5 times less of what I'll pay for the same property.
That's right.
So if you put a rail line from here and in an hour or something, after all, the traffic have been staying in it for 2 hours before we get home. People would. We are not talking about that. We are not. Then we are committing resources.
Hey, Yakubu, manage. Yakubu, manage.
Some of the things. What do you think about it?
Yakubu, manage. Yakubu, manage.
On the front page of the News Center newspaper, detail-driven news. It says government moves to protect the Aman mine workforce. That story is on page 3 of the paper, and a discussion that we keep running away from or pretending shouldn't happen. My friend, Senor Hosi, scrap security services recruitment charges. Those charges that people pay. You buy form, you pay for medicals, you pay for what are the charges involved?
Medicals, you pay for the regular forms, the entry forms. So you buy the forms first, and then you go and pay for your medicals. There's body selection, your daily transport to and fro, your own feeding.
So is the forms, and then the next thing you pay for again is
medicals.
Yes. And then
you go for body selection.
And then body selection.
No, but that one you don't pay.
No, you don't pay, but you transport yourself to the place that you eat.
No, that one is you.
And then when you are eventually selected, they'll give you a prospectus and you go and buy all the things to serve your nation.
Oh yes. No, that's for the training.
To train to serve your nation. Elsewhere, they literally
just match in.
I've been in an eatery before where people came round. They had their forms. Say, hey, how you doing? Do you want to say when you give me some? You know, they're suggesting to you that, oh, Charlie, come and help us.
Come and serve your country.
No, it's not my country. They know it's not my country, but they say come and serve.
Oh, they knew you were not
citizens. They'll give you citizenship and add it. Here we frustrate our own people.
Charlie. So that's a discussion, especially in the last when we were talking about the numbers as against what we have to eventually pick. The cost of the medical scheme, I was shocked. 1,500 cities was it?
1,600.
1,005 was what was quoted. Okay. And I'm wondering...
100, nearly 80,000 persons will have to pay that sum. That's crazy.
Yeah. Just do a simple math. Even the individual. I'm wondering what is going into that medical, that the cost. The cost is that high. is there a way we can let, say, 37 military hospital, for instance?
They actually do from state hospitals. They don't take private hospitals.
Yeah.
But you still foot the bill.
Yes, of course, yeah.
Okay.
But you are even going to calculate that one. Let's begin from the forms. How much is one form? And how many were sold by police, fire service, immigration?
Over 500,000.
Yes.
252 times 500,000.
Yes. So measure that. Calculate it.
Okay.
They will tell you it's IGF. Meanwhile, they will come to Parliament with a budget for us to give them every money they need. Charlie,
Let me take you to Moro. I will do. Sorry, not Moro. To start from the back page of the paper, it says Bawumia directs minority to engage more with stakeholders, and it comes with a picture of. It's not the headline that I'm interested in. It's the picture I'm interested in. But the picture of the flag bearer of the NPP going into the 2028 election, and to his right is the Honorable Kojo Opong Nkrumah. The picture is so beautiful that people are asking, has Bawumia found a new running mate?
Napo will not be happy with you.
I said it's a question people are asking.
No, Napo will not be happy with you.
The photo is nice.
Did you not see how the MPs in Parliament were saying Yepe, Napo,
Yes, I saw that
Napo,
one.
na Yepe?
They were chanting like,
come
boys
on,
at
hold.
Jama.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yepe, Napo, Napo, na Yepe.
Charlie, but this photo too is nice.
But
it looks like a beautiful pair.
Yeah, I mean the Santos, no.
Won't they make a beautiful pair?
With the spectacles, to be spectacled.
Kojo would actually make a beautiful,
intelligent man,
vice president. He will make a good. I'm just imagining him on the campaign trail as running mate.
Napo will not be happy with you, and Madam, the deputy minority leader,
Patricia
Piaget. She said she would accept the thing if it's given.
Yes,
to her.
if
now you have
if
come
she's
to sit
asked.
here and you are asking these
No,
questions.
I'm just I see photo, then I'm asking, and I'm not the one who published the photo.
Mama wants.
This one is
Mama
Mama
says,
Audu.
Mama says if they give her the thing, she won't reject it.
Mama Pat.
Then now you are now talking about. Amora, why did you do that?
I don't know. The photo is nice.
You cannot be doing
front page. Now let me take you back to the front
back page. You go ahead.
Minority blows alarm on 50 billion Ghana City Big Push project. Contract demands full details of contractors and unit cost per kilometer. Ordineho urges government to open neglected Akumadan University. Hey, Akumadan University. PBL marks Ghana month with pride and patriotism. You have Mahama visits Ewadakos Nobi Agriculture, and yes, that back page story I was just talking about. Bawumia directs minority to engage with stakeholders, and Opong Nkrumah is the one quoted there. Finally, Ghana's favorite newspaper, the Daily Guide newspaper, says majority-minority clash over sole-sourced road contracts. EU Ghana signed security partnership. NPA extortion trial, 2 accused cut deal as OSP witnesses, and Mahama loses Lincoln honorary degree over LGBTQRY2
of GPRTU of TUC.
NDC reversing economic gains. NPP is crying. Comes with a picture of the director of communications, Richard Anyaba.
So
friend.
You know, the energy minister had suggested that businesses at Bema Camp will start paying. Actually, yesterday I did some checks. The businesses at Bema Camp pay. Apart from those at Elwak Barracks and then Teshi Barracks, the businesses at Bema Camp, they pay.
When you say businesses, which ones are you referring to? The mess?
Cold store?
No. There are people who
are printing services.
Printing, people who are running drinking shops, eateries, people who are selling, stuff, all those small shops.
They pay. They pay to who?
Well,
the minister doesn't seem to know.
They are meted. So they pay. So the detail I got was that the Elwak Barracks and Teshi Barracks.
But if you are doing ice block, do you pay?
Oh,
the ice block.
Are you talking to the police and prisons people too?
Yes, all of them.
Because you see, when you get to the barracks, See, the corridors are choked with freezers.
Fridges and freezers.
Everybody
and they
has
are
a
all producing
ice block merchants.
I don't know why they only do it from the barracks.
They live in Iceland. They live in Iceland.
Officers, we greet you. We are not saying anything.
We are not saying that. We're just saying that we like the ice.
But just quick thoughts on the president's resolution expected today.
Yes, and I wanted to tie that actually to this honorary degree matter that came up yesterday. I want to encourage the president to not be deterred, to stand resolute, to ensure that this does not discourage him in any form or manner. Mr. President, you don't need this honorary degree. You are our president. If they want to use this one to tie your hand, say no to them and come back home to us. We will do TZ and Ayoyo for you.
Yeah, or Mia Kuka.
We are clapping for you. Don't be moved.
I think that reparation is not just about money as well. Reparation goes beyond money. Reparation also is some level of assurance that whatever happened to humanity will never happen again, and that you are sorry, and that if there were any spoils that were collected from here in Africa as a result of the transatlantic slave trade, we will be restored to former glory and all of that. I think that most people think about reparation in financial terms, but it's not all about money. As for the money, when it comes, we will take it. Or if they give us money, why not? We will take it. But it's not all about money. And we want to encourage the president. They should do it. He's leading the charge for the entire African Union.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. But then the question that comes is that he's leading it for AU. And then you have people who are coup makers all over the continent. Are they also included? Are they also asking for reparations? Are they also asking for reparations?
If there are reparations,
Johnny, it will shock you that the coup makers tend to be more Pan-Africanist in their outlook,
because they know that if they play the fool, their own compatriots will shoot them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you, and I am in no way supporting
military
takeover. I am in no way. I've always said that on the same platform. But if you look at what the coup makers are doing in their respective countries, you ask yourself why democracy is failing us, why elected leadership is failing us. And that failure of elected leadership is what eventually creates the room, the opportunity, and in some cases, the clamor for these coups.
Yeah.
And lots of them, and see, after Kwame Nkrumah was overthrown, his own people, the people who overthrew him, they threw away all those Pan-African fights.
Yeah, the tenets. Yeah,
they were not interested. It was the Thomas Sankaras who took over the fight.
Yeah,
and Thomas Sankara was a coup maker. It was always those people who realized that until we go back to these ideals preached by this Ghana man, we will not go anywhere.
Look at Malema, has been beaten too many times.
But
he's still not giving
and
up.
The Burkinabe man we talk about today, yesterday, we are here saying we should send delegation to go and see how they can grant us. Why do we need that?
He's industrializing all his tomatoes.
Yeah.
He says
Yes.
no export.
Yeah. No export. Feed his own industry.
Feed my people.
Feed my people.
He's not giving them
And
color
export
fiber
to you
and color fiber and sugar.
No.
He's feeding them real tomato.
Do it for yourself. You don't have to go send a delegation to go and meet him.
You know when you travel,
what happened to your one village, one dam project?
You know when you travel out Mawuena, you buy canned tomatoes. You actually see the tomatoes in there. So you have two options. You have the one that is color and blah 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 blah, the paste that we like here, easy fix, and then you have the real tomato with
it's canned and you see the tomatoes and all of that.
You notice that the white people, they opt for that one. They don't go for this one because they know that they are feeding us rubbish. But we are eating Obroni food. We are okay. Yeah, we are fine. We will plant our tomato, export it, and then we'll take their color and their fiber, and then we are okay.
Flour coming in.
We are so wise.
Right, let's do sports. Billy Shen is here. Our first game is on Friday.
Yes.
It's on Friday.
Yeah. Why have
Charlie Inaki Williams and yes?
I knew they were going to ask you.
Inaki Williams and Thomas Asante. What is it?
So they have knocks, unfortunately. Iñaki, although he
have
played,
what?
Knocks.
So niggling injuries,
Injuries, like minor injuries.
Okay.
Iñaki.
That's how you people say it in sports.
Yeah,
knocks.
A few knocks here and there.
Yeah, minor injuries. Iñaki, although he
then this headline, Daily Banner, then your headline is away.
What was
say
the
Williams, Thomas Asante knocked from Ghana.
Wait, what?
No, withdraw from Ghana.
Withdraw.
From Ghana squad. So it's as if they don't want to do again.
No, so it's here. So it says after sustaining injuries.
That's why I said the headline.
Yeah, they should have put the knock in there.
Is it knocks or knock?
So they should have put knock, then colon. Williams, Thomas Asante out.
Thank you. Daily Banner.
I see. Like the headline says.
It sounds as if they have a carry or
like they are doing 2-0.
Yeah.
That's the big.
All right.
Who is the assistant coach of the Black Stars?
We have 3 assistants now.
One.
Yes, 3.
One mentioned there.
One is the Black Queens coach, Kim Lars Björkegren. The other is Desmond.
Kim who?
Lars Björkegren.
Where is he from?
He's the Black Queens coach.
Yeah, no, as in what nationality?
Sweden.
Okay.
Yes. There's Desmond who is
Ghanaian.
Kim what?
Lars Björkegren.
Okay.
Yeah.
So he has 2 jobs in Ghana.
Yes.
Okay.
Is it 1 salary or 2 salaries?
That part you can't.
Who is the third assistant?
So there's Desmond who is the second, and the third was recently appointed. He's French, Alain Rivera. He was recently appointed as part of the 5
technical, right?
Yeah. So there are 3 assistants.
Has that always been the case?
No, they just
I think it's just because of the World Cup coming, so they are trying to beef up the squad.
Or because of Otuado. They want somebody, they want a lot
Thank
of
God I didn't say this. No. You have a head coach and you have 3 assistants. We saw this kind of thing with only Akufo-Addo's
because we were complaining about it under President Akufo-Addo. You can't have one ministry with a minister and 3 deputies. We complained about it, so we should complain about this one too.
I said one of these is.
So we have a Swedish, we have a French, and we have a Ghanaian assisting the Ghanaian.
A Ghanaian who.
So we have 4 coaches for the Black Stars.
I didn't mention the technical advisor.
So there's
it's okay.
No. Oh, Charlie, we are learning. Relax. Who is the technical advisor? Who is the technical advisor? No, just the name of it.
Winfried Schäfer. He's German.
He's German.
Yes.
So there's German, there's Swedish, there's French. And then
we have combined the whole world on our team.
Absolutely.
Hello, good morning, and welcome to Sports here on Sunrise on 3FM 92.7. My name is Bill Ishen. Let's start from the camp of the Black Stars, where the Ghana Football Association's Communications Director, Henry Asante Chum, has shed light on the withdrawal of Iñaki Williams and Brandon Thomas Asante ahead of the international friendlies in Austria. Now, according to him, both players picked up injuries in their final club matches before the international break and were therefore unable to join the team in camp.
They didn't come to Austria. What happens is that once you make the squad public, you have to pray that none of them picks up an injury in their last matches leading to the international break. So we were just unlucky that these two players had to withdraw from the squad because of injuries. For Brandon, he was replaced in the 62nd minute in their game against Swansea City. Iñaki completed the 90 minutes in their game against Real Betis, but the doctors at Athletic Bilbao informed us that he played the last 20 minutes of that game through the pain barrier. So we requested for a proof. They sent us scans to confirm that he had some discomfort in his groin area. The two medical setups, that of his club and then also the medical setup of the Black Stars, exchanged emails here and there. Once we received the confirmation, the information got through to the technical team, and the decision was that they are excused from this camp. So they didn't arrive here at all.
That was Henry Asante Chum on the withdrawals of Iñaki Williams and Brandon Thomas Asante. He further expressed their satisfaction with the form of players currently in camp, highlighting Antoine Semenyo as a standout performer, enjoying his best spell of his career after winning the Carabao Cup over the weekend.
He's had a great time since he moved from Bournemouth. He's become the talk of town. Without a doubt, one of our top players at the moment, and he couldn't have been any better, celebrating him for that feat. Yes, they are still in contention for the Premier League, currently second in the table. So once you have a player who is performing at a very, very, very top level, it's a major boost for the team. We appreciate whatever he's doing for Manchester City, whatever he's doing for his side. And then also as a federation, we are very, very happy that we made a decision to bring him to Ghana about 4 years ago, when not much was known about him. When he was playing for Bristol City, he went to the World Cup as a championship player 4 years ago, and within 4 years he's moved from Bristol to Bournemouth and now at Manchester City. That's a major leap, for Antoine, and he couldn't have been any better.
That was Henry Asante Chum on Antoine Semenyo. Now, former Ghana international Lai Kingston believes the national team should now be built around Semenyo. He also drew comparisons with a former teammate, praising the forward's consistency, work rate, and technical qualities.
For me, for some time now, Semenyo has been our best player for Ghana. He's been our best player. I was a little bit worried about him because of the way we use him in our national team, because sometimes we don't give him that kind of freedom to operate the way he was doing in his club. You can see he's been very consistent with his club. Bournemouth last season is their best player in the Premier League. But when you watch Semenyo, the way Bournemouth is using him and is giving them results, when it comes to the national team, I think they restrict him from doing what he can do, So for me, he's been our best players in the Premier League, and then in Europe as a whole, he did so well, more than any other Ghanaian player in Europe.
That was Lai Kingston on Antoine Semenyo. Now, ahead of the crucial friendlies against Austria and Germany on Friday and Monday respectively, 3 Sports took to the streets of Accra to sample the views of fans on the expectations of the team.
Performance in the between who say the between a World Cup no ako kwaya dana performance in here results the country yen show stuff for name when the between Germany for no.
Oh, Ghana for win.
for win. Both the results and performance, Ghana for win. Because we get quality players. Our players are, doing well outside. So we need to utilize them well, both the performance and results. We need to expect, 2-1 or 2-0 for Ghana.
We were just pass Ghana bet me winning. But sure and blaster those time blaster na enye na me hu but as nyina Ghana for there yentimi nka say enta omochi yeta omochi ye DJ ta omochi na me gidi pass ombe wini omo friendly games no any work up no so omo course a omo ya there ye ni Germany no menka say about 2-1 against Germany.
Now, elsewhere, the Senegal Football Federation has officially appealed to the Court of Arbitration for Sport after the Confederation of African Football stripped Senegal of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations title. CAF awarded Morocco a 3-0 victory following Senegal's 14-minute walk-off protest in the final. Now, Senegal argues that the punishment is excessive and is seeking to overturn the ruling. CAS is expected to review the case with a verdict that could have major implications for football governance across the continent. The Federation has also appointed an experienced sports lawyer as part of efforts to mount a strong case. In other news, Mohamed Salah is set to bring his illustrious career at Liverpool FC to an end after the 2025-26 season. The forward has agreed with the club to close a remarkable 9-year chapter at Anfield. Since joining from AS Roma in 2017, Salah has cemented his place as one of Liverpool's greatest players, playing a key role in multiple trophy successes.
Hello everyone. Unfortunately, the day has come. This is the first part of my farewell. I will be leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. I wanted to start by saying that I never imagined how deeply this club, this city, these people would become part of my life. Liverpool is not just a football club. It's a passion, it's a history, it's a spirit I can't explain in a word to anyone not part of this club. We celebrated victory, we won the most important trophies, and we fought together through the hardest time in our life. I want to thank everyone who was part of this club throughout my time here, especially the teammates, past and present, and to the fans. I don't have enough words. The support you showed me through the best time of my career, and you stood by me in the toughest time, is something I will never forget, and something I will take it with me always.
That was Mohamed Salah speaking there after announcing he will be leaving Liverpool at the end of this season. Meanwhile, former France forward Antoine Griezmann is set to join Orlando City from Atletico Madrid this summer. The 35-year-old Atletico's all-time leading goal scorer is nearing 300 career club goals and will move to Florida in July on a deal that could keep him at the club until 2029. Griezmann retired from international football in 2024, having scored 44 goals in 137 appearances and winning the 2018 World Cup. In tennis, Yannick Sinner extended his remarkable run with a 7-5, 7-6, 7-4 victory over Alex Michelsen at the Miami Open. The Italian world number 2 has now recorded 25 and 26 consecutive set wins at ATP Masters 1000 level, setting a new record following his earlier win over Corentin Moutet. That is the end of the sports segment here on Sunrise on 3FM 93.7. My name is Bill Ishen. We'll see you same time tomorrow with more updates from the world of sports here on 3FM 92.7. Until then, have a great morning.
It has always been a journey of Pan-Africanism and consciousness. It is your regular taxi driver with the urban blend and 3FM 92.7 in living stereo every day, Monday to Friday from 12:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. This is the show everybody listens to, so your business will certainly do well here. My name, Black Rasta. I am the rootical, hairtical, Don Gargan, Mua Fire. Rhythm, come forward.
Atinga ya chika fankare, Azure ya chika fankare, Abama ta chika fankare.
Your finest tunes in sync with a soothing voice. 3 Lounge with AJ.
Are you tired of the same old routine? Need a break from the stress and chaos of everyday life? Well, step into the 3 Lounge, your world of absolute relaxation and great music with yours truly, AJ Akwako Sapon. Welcome to the best mid-morning show in the capital and beyond. This is 3 Lounge with yours truly, your radio princess, AJ Akwako Sapon.
Love it. I love it. It's great.
Kickstart your week with Monday motivation. Shake off the Tuesday blues and get ready for midweek mania. Take a trip down memory lane on Throwback Thursday and wrap up the week with Funky Friday with myself and Helen Appiah Ampufo. Plus, enjoy exciting celebrity interviews, insightful conversation, engaging discussions on topics that matter, and there's a boatload of fun and easy activations that reward and appreciate you, our loyal listener.
If you are listening, we're manifesting money into your pockets this morning.
Don't miss out on the excitement. Tune in to 3 Lounge every weekday morning from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. with AJ Akwako Sapon only on 3FM 92.7.
It's my number one.
92.7 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Accra, Ghana, Africa, and worldwide. Join us on Inspirational Gospel Mix this and every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Get ready for the revolution. What you say now?
King of kings and Lord of lords, lover of my soul, Jehovah, one and only God. I am Jesus Christ, the Holy Lamb.
What is your favorite scripture?
Well, my favorite scripture is Romans 8:28, and it says, all things work together for the good to them that love the Lord. Kwame, that is absolutely my favorite scripture.
Yes, your Inspirational Gospel Mix, a moment to get inspired with the best of inspirational songs and interviews to get you prepared for the new week. Every Sunday, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. with me, your big brother, Kwame Adu, mixing G, mixing gospel. You can't miss it. You are blessed as you listen. 3FM 92.7.
Sunrise on 3FM. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM. The best in the morning is on 92.7. Sunrise on 3FM.
is worshipped. Beans, soft, honest, and strong. Slow-cooked patience, the kind that holds you from inside. Gary light as flakes, heavy as satisfaction. Palm oil, liquid gold, painting hunger into peace. And plantain, sweet fire, fried to perfection like joy with a crispy voice. One spoon and you understand. The belly quiets, the heart agrees. You don't just get full, you get settled. At school and in the streets, it was a jinkwa, our savior. Affordable, but never small, because a little gobe goes a very long way. 3FM Gobe Festival, Saturday 28th March, Legon City Mall, 10 a.m. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio. To book your space as a vendor, please call or WhatsApp 0532 200927 or 0531 100927.
3FM Gobe Festival is sponsored by Gino Hot Pepper Powder, Gino Curry Powder,
Fratelli Calipo, Obuasi Bitters, Numna Wumwankasa.
Sunrise on 3FM.
3FM Gobe Festival. Delicious Gobe for you. Jama session, live band music, DJs on rotation, and many more. Saturday, 28th of March at the Legon City Mall. 3FM Gobe Festival 2026. Date Saturday, 28th of March. Legon City Mall.
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandfather.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
2.7. My name is Johnnie Hughes. Always a pleasure to serve you breakfast in the morning. Thank you very much indeed for spending your morning with us. You can always join us on Facebook at 3FM927. You can also connect with us, share your thoughts and comments on the various topics. Big push has come under heavy criticism. We're asking if it's a whole farce or that's the reality on the ground. We'll get into that conversation in a bit, but I want to specially invite you out this Saturday, the 28th of March 2026, to join us at the Legon City Mall, the car park. We want to have that special engagement with you. We call it the 3FM Gobe Festival. If you're a Gobe light, stand up and let's count you. Show yourself. They like your Gobe with just the regular one that we know. Your Gary, your beans, your palm. Some like it hellish. Some
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback. It's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride.
And the kind of energy that you only get when you and your favorite people gather around your favorite.
Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
Connoisseurs, everybody is pulling up in the Afrocentric attire. We're wrapping up Ghana Month in grand style. Why don't you join us?
The Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you?
Eat, vibe, celebrate, and don't miss it. It's brought to you by 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio station. Today, the 25th day of March 2026. It's a very big day also in the United Kingdom because the 106th Archbishop of Canterbury, the very first lady to have ever ascended to that height, the Most Reverend, Right Honorable Elizabeth Malaby. And is Right Honorable because he has a chance to sit in the what we call Parliament here in the United Kingdom on very special occasions. I'll tell you more about that later. After this break, I'll introduce my guest to you and then we'll get the show right running on the road. Push contracts. That's here Honorable Kennedy Osenyako, who speaks on behalf of the minority on this occasion. He spoke yesterday and we would want to hear from him. Right after that, we'll hear from the Roads Minister, Governor Kwame Agboja. Let's hear from the minority.
The Big Push program is in principle a commendable initiative if adequately resourced and efficiently implemented. The project under this flagship program of the NDC government have the potential to significantly improve connectivity and open up key economic corridors across the country. As such, we on the minority side are not opposed to the policy itself. Our concern, however, lies with the process through which the initial 50 projects have been awarded, particularly given that these projects are expected to cost the taxpayers approximately 50 billion, as indicated by the President in his 2026 SONA. In this regard, we strongly believe that government must, as a matter of urgency, should publish the full details of this contract. This should include the identities of the contractors, the specific scope of work assigned to each contractor, and the unit cost per kilometer. This will give Ghanaians the opportunity to independently assess the policy and promote transparency in infrastructure delivery. It is important to recall that these are issues that the current government spoke vehemently about whilst in opposition. There is therefore a legitimate expectation that once in government, higher standards of policy transparency will be upheld. Unfortunately, the current approach appears to mirror the very practices that were previously criticized. This does not bode well for governance and undermine public trust. Transparency remains a cornerstone of good governance. Where processes are open and information is accessible, public confidence is strengthened and unnecessary suspicion is avoided. However, when Ghanaians perceive the decisions have been taken in secrecy and things were done quietly out of public eyes, it inevitably breeds suspicion. And even in situations where no wrongdoing may have occurred, because of the lack of openness, creates room for doubt and speculation. We on the minority side are well aware of the average and the highest cost of constructing a kilometer of bitumen surfacing road. Similarly, we are knowledgeable about the cost range for asphaltic overlays. Depending on the thickness and the design specification, the scope of work, the same applies to dual carriageways, where both the average and upper bound costs are clearly known to us. Establish benchmarks within the road construction sector provide a useful reference. For instance, the cost of a kilometer of bitumen surface road typically ranges between $400,000 and $650,000. Surface dressing road generally costs between $600,000 to $800,000 per kilometer. Similarly, single carriage asphaltic overlays cost between $1.2 million and $1.8 million per kilometer, depending on the thickness and the extent of overlay to be applied on the existing surface. Why dual carriageway asphaltic overlay roads cost between 2.5 and 4 million per kilometer, depending on the topography of the road and the other ancillary works. These ranges represent generally accepted benchmark costs within the sector, irrespective of the variations in land topography, project conditions, or design specifications. Accordingly, once the cost details of the big push project are made available, we can juxtapose with these established benchmarks to ensure that they do not overrun the expected cost ranges outlined above. Our position, therefore, is straightforward. Even after the award of this contract, they should be advertised. This is a major flagship program involving substantial public resources. About 50 billion of the taxpayers' money. Ghanaians have the right to know how these funds are being allocated, given the scale and significance of the program. We are therefore urging the government to act in the interest of transparency and publish the details of the 50 contracts under the Big Push program, especially the contractors involved, the scope of work, and how much it is costing the Ghanaian taxpayer for a kilometer. This is a reasonable request and a necessary step towards ensuring public confidence in the implementation of the flagship initiative.
Sole sourcing even is acceptable if in situations where there is the need to extend the implementation
of works which were previously competitively procured to speed up completion. Though the 23 projects I talked about that we innovated, none of them were competitively procured. They were also sourced contracts, but which were innovated at the cost of 14.8 billion Ghana cedi. Mr. Speaker, given the scale, urgency, and national importance of these projects, a mix of procurement methods were employed in accordance with the law. Mr. Speaker, it is important to note that only 44% of all the major contracts included in the Big Push contract were awarded by the ministry under sole source. 44%. So not what has been published by a certain online portal. We have also awarded over 400 different contracts through open competitive bidding, over 400, which is unprecedented because the record shows that from 2017 to 2024, almost all projects that the ministry carried out were sole sourced. Almost all the projects were sole sourced. It will therefore be mischievous for any right-thinking member of society to conclude that the Ministry of Road and Highways only procures work through sole sourcing. Mr. Speaker, I have already mentioned the deplorable state of the road network across the country. We inherited from our colleagues. This had brought untold hardship to the motoring public and contributed massively to the food inflation. This led to public agitation and the survival of the state. Mr. Speaker, something needed to be done and done urgently. Mr. Speaker, with dedicated funding already secured under the Big Push program, was both prudent and necessary to proceed swiftly to ensure value for money and avoid cost overruns associated with long procurement and implementation timelines. Mr. Speaker, most of the project would not have started until date if we hadn't adopted a faster route. Mr. Speaker, the following projects, for example, wouldn't have been continued or started. The Kaswa-Winneba and then Kaswa Interchange Road, which is in my good friend, the minority leaders constituency. The dualization of Winneba Cape Coast, the Swami Interchange project, which was stalled but now has gotten a new life, the Kumasi Outer Ring Road, and the Ofankor Nsawam Road.
The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise. The big conversation on 3FM Sunrise.
Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning.
My guest in studio this morning, Prince Derek Ajay of the NDC. Mr. Abel Bachman, he is the Deputy Director of Communications of the United Party. And Mr. Ako of Election Watch. Now, the NDC's manifesto on sole sourcing had this to say on page 6. It says, enforce compliance with public procurement law to stop the abuse of sole sourcing and other breaches. Now, the President of the Republic of Ghana speaking in Parliament, the 2026 State of the Nation address says, Mr. Speaker, we are bringing legislation to this House to tighten our procurement processes by banning sole source contract except exceptional circumstances. This was the President in January, or if you like, February 2026, telling us about what his government intends to do, and that's a sequel to the prequel of the promise to move away from sole sourcing. Only for us to wake up one day to hear that, well, Big Push contracts, which is supposed to improve our road infrastructure, has sole sourcing littered around about 44% of it. So now we're asking the question, is this a costly gamble or a brilliant initiative? Big Push. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you very much for your time. And how are you doing?
Good morning.
Good morning, good morning, good
By
morning.
the grace of God, we are doing fantastically well.
You are wearing fugu today.
For the first time since it was declared. For the first time.
Why
So
for the first time?
This is my fugu, where my fugus
Where your
were.
fugus are?
Charlie, it was difficult getting them, so I needed to take them to laundry.
They are not in your house, or you kept them at the other house? Did you keep them at the other house? Or?
No, in the house. But I mean,
you have archived the fugu.
Yeah, fugu. Yeah, I wanted to. So I needed to do a lot of to get it this morning. Yeah, so I'm wearing it.
Yes, you look nice in it.
Yes,
you look nice.
I'm being a very good, responsible citizen.
Right. Mr. Ako, you have been a regular fugu wearer.
Very consistent.
Yes.
Since it was declared that we should begin putting on fugu to exhibit our national pride.
Yeah. Right.
And in fact, I've been very, very consistent. But I'm sure that by the close of month, I'll receive an award from you for being so consistent in what
I've been wearing.
But that's fugu. If you give me any award, I would take it.
I've been wearing fugu even before the president declared it because of my role now on the skin.
Okay.
So,
in fact, myself, I really like to wear fugu, and I have about 8 of them.
Oh, only 8.
Only 8.
Okay.
But you know you can't wear it on a regular basis. So at least twice in a week or once.
I can wear fugu every day.
Wow. Then the boy must learn from us.
It looks good.
But the way the man has archived his fugu,
my fugu looks very good on Johnnie.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we're learning
with the
dapela.
Yeah, it looks good. So I encourage you to wear more.
Thank you. We shall wear it.
To showcase our heritage.
The other time Prince Derek Ej wore fugu, but today he's not wearing fugu. I don't know why. He's defying the president's directive not to wear fugu.
On the contrary, slavery is on the cards. It's a sad time for all of humanity. And today, I'm sure you're aware that there'll be a vote.
That's right.
On the back of the president's.
The president will move a motion for a vote, yeah.
And in solidarity with all those who have died. And the dark days of slavery. Because the slave trade itself is one, and then slavery also another aspect altogether. So in solidarity with the times, I'm wearing this one.
Right.
But I just finished burying my auntie also.
Oh, sorry about that.
Yes. I believe that there are good times ahead. I think we share something for the Ghana month every week, and I think it's only in order that it is not said that truth abides on social media and it's absolute. I was going through social media today and I saw something that AI itself was saying that we cannot trust it to be the truth. And that had to do with the Katamanso War.
That's right.
Of 1826.
Right.
Which will be 200 years old this year. And I think that even as we celebrate Ghana month, we should set the record straight. The Katamanso War, also known as the Dodowa War,
that's right,
was not fought by all those that are being claimed in Wikipedia and others, and it helped to stop, to some extent, the slave trade and bring about various treaties after 1831.
But the Dodowa forest itself, where that Katamanso War was fought, is now being encroached.
Yes.
Have people willed part of it for themselves forever?
That's something we may have to look at, and I hope that opportunity will be given us to look at some statements that the president has made in regards to lands, the return of some lands, the retrieval of lands from looters and all that. In fact, I'm reliably informed that the minister has finished cleaning the list of looters of state lands and bungalows, and it will be duly published within the course of perhaps this week, I'm sure. It's long overdue. So let's see if names appear on the Dodowa forest or the Katamanso forest area if there are state lands there.
Great. Let's begin by asking you this simple question. Your government promised in opposition that soul sourcing will not take center stage. Only for us to wake up for us to read from Fourth Estate that soul sourcing has happened indeed, and in a very large quantum. The minister was in Parliament yesterday debunking that claim and suggesting to us that it's only about 44% of the total contracts, and he gave reasons for saying. Why are you going back on your words?
I doubt if that amounts to going back on anyone's word. Soul sourcing, first, is not illegal. It's not criminal.
Right.
It's actually legal within the context of being done in line with the PPA rules and regulations.
Right.
And I believe that is what the minister has done. So nothing has been breached to start with. Number two is that the promise.
Nothing has been breached. As in what? You promised one thing, you're doing another thing.
I'm talking about the legality.
Right.
So there's no illegality in that. Because at the end of the day, when people come shouting and demanding, as though like something has gone wrong legally, as in some criminal, action had been occasioned. I think that first, let's debunk that.
But in the previous government, there was nothing that was done regarding sole sourcing or single sourcing that was illegal. They were also operating within the framework of the law. Yes. You knew that, and you were asking questions.
Apples with oranges. You can't put MPP and NDC.
No, I'm talking about same source. Or sole sources, sorry. And I'm saying that in the previous government, when you were busy telling us that you would not, engage in sole sourcing, and you were pointing us in the direction of government at the time doing sole sourcing, they had also not done anything contrary to the law, correct?
Let me put things in proper perspective. First, it was Gabi, Asari, Ochedako, and others close to Akufo-Addo who indicated that sole sourcing was the equivalence of criminality, illegality, and so on. So that's where the debate started from. Now, the laws are very clear, and I think Gabi is not a law. The laws are very clear as to how procurement can be done.
Right.
So there's a public procurement authority, and it is a legal entity through whom or through which you can make procurements. So you can advertise, you can have tender, and then you can have sole sourcing based on some specific criteria. National security, some emergencies, research, and other purposes. Now, if you look at what the president said, that's in position. He indicated the condition, and I want for you to put that bit back on the screen. Then you look at the last words as a condition for sole sourcing to happen. He said exceptional circumstances.
What is exceptional about this current one?
So let's now look at exceptional circumstances within the road sector.
Right.
Now, you and I are in Ghana, have been in Ghana for at least a decade plus. So over the past 8 years, we all witnessed the year of roads, 1, year of roads, 2, 3, and I don't know how many else were perhaps unofficial.
Were only 3. Year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads. Only 3.
I'm saying that those were officials. I don't know about the unofficial year of roads, because every time we're built for roads that were being constructed, which we never saw. Just like the Palugu Dam, we haven't seen, even though we're told it's been done, it's the biggest project, and so on. Now, the year of roads issue, they left us with a certain situation. If you travel to Kumasi using the Achimota road, you realize that you realize that after a certain portion, it was a metropolis, and you would be there for hours. Today, is it the case? Was it done in year of roads time or big push time? So this was an exceptional circumstance. 1. Now, if you use the Eastern Corridor, which has been on the books since forever, it's not being done within a short time. So you need some speed. Now, these are some of the conditions that necessitate sole sourcing. Now, the other thing is that if you are putting together a project or a contract or something of the nature of the big push, you would want to have certain parameters, and I think that that's where perhaps we need to have some education on. Now, have we seen the scope of the big push, and what kind of requirements are there of any contractor to meet before you are brought on? Then there's the issue of payments also, because at the end of the day, if you were to do a certain quantum of work within a certain period of time, you are not necessarily given all the money up front.
That's right.
And any delay can make you go bankrupt very easily, very rapidly. So if the minister puts together a project of that scope and has put an X number of people on that project, let's say, for example, you have a kilometer stretch, you can put 1 person on a kilometer stretch, or you can put 10 people and make it 100 meters per, each.
Each lot.
Yes. So what has the minister done and how was it done? And then you have to look at capacity also and the uniformity of the project. So I think that the MPP were just looking for an opportunity to come and shout. They may not have even read the full statements that have been put out by the Fourth Estate. They just saw a headline and thought that, hey...
Are you suggesting that there is no merit to this matter? These questions that are being asked are not legitimate?
I am a Ghanaian, and like any other Ghanaian, well-meaning Ghanaian, if anyone says, let's look into something, I would say, let's look into it. So I will not say, let's not look into this.
Right.
Because the NDC is not full of angels. The NPP has more devils than angels. That is a fact.
I don't know that.
No, I'm saying that is a fact.
That's your
criminality
fact.
and
That's
corruption
your
and so on.
fact.
No, I'm saying. But the NDC has its fair share of devils. Okay, so I will not, even though I know this minister, I know Suhini, who was my best man at my wedding, I know they are very good people.
Family and friends. That's what you're doing now.
I know them that well.
Okay.
So I know the caliber of people they are. But that's not also to say that nobody can be fallible, even not necessarily at the ministerial level. People down the ladder can make some mistakes. So I'm not hoping for anybody. But I'm saying also that we should look at things in its totality. And I would be happy if we're going to look at the road sector. Let's look at it holistically. And I'm surprised the former minister, Asam Siwachi, was not the one addressing this press conference.
Why are you surprised?
Why shouldn't he be?
Mr. Kennedy, you're saying Akwe is a ranking member.
No, we're not talking about ranking. We're talking about people who have occupied that position.
But in Parliament, the workings in Parliament are different, are they?
No. If you say the former, the one before Asenso is not in Parliament, he's no longer in Parliament.
That's right.
So if he's not the one addressing, I can understand. But he was the face of Big Push. That's a total fiasco.
What was the face of the Year of Roads, not Big Push?
Sorry. Forgive me. He would wish. So he
come on.
he was the face of the Year of Roads, the fiasco. So but he's not in Parliament. But Asenso Boakye is the immediate past minister, so he has full knowledge of the previous his businesses, tenure and his. So now, looking at that versus this, I'm sure he's a challenge at this one. He didn't even show up. Okay, fine. Even if he didn't address, you saw those behind him.
Maybe he was not in Parliament at the time.
So this wasn't important?
I didn't say that.
He was in Parliament.
Okay. Let's welcome Derek Ejeku.
The other Derek.
Derek Ejeku of the MPP, National Communication. Derek, good morning, and thank you for your time. How are you doing?
Good morning, Johnny. I'm doing so well.
Great. Let me bring it, Ms. Ako. So this Big Push conversation, it started off on a good note. It was a big thing. You travel around the country, you see projects coming up here and there. I went to Bogoso the other time. I saw something. I've been to the but then, is that enough for us to keep quiet if suggestions are now being made or questions are now being raised that all may not be well? Is that enough for us to keep quiet because the projects are running?
A very good morning to you, Johnny, and to my co-panelists, and also our friends listening to us and watching us on social media. I think that it is important to make criticism of national projects, especially when public funds will be sunk into it. It is not that well because projects are ongoing, and if you look at the devastating nature of our road networks, we should just allow things to run the way it is. When we allow things to go that way, I know how politicians are. None of them are saints. They would take advantage of that singular opportunity and begin to milk the country, which will not augur well for us. And so for me, I think that we need to probe and ask further questions why things are going this way. But if you look at the current nature of the situation, in fact, sole sourcing in its sense, to me, is not illegal, but the manner and way at which people, take advantage of the word sole sourcing to milk the state is where I have a challenge. And when this issue broke out, I have heard many people referring back to what His Excellency President Mahama said. I think in the absence of the law, what else would you use as a measure or the law? For instance,
morality.
Morality, yes, but is it the law?
Well, but that was the standard used in the past.
Is it the law? If we are asked not to drink, okay, if we say from next week, we'll not be drinking water in the studio. And Prince, as always, will bring his flask here.
We don't know the content yet.
Well,
we don't know the content, but we don't want to check it now. We'll call FDA for you.
Will we say that Prince have violated the law? The answer is no. And I think the president made those statements on the premise that in the past administration, there have been a lot of contracts that have gone under sole sourcing, which of course, when you do a deeper investigation, you realize that many of them did not go through the rightful process. A typical example is even the Electoral Commission itself,
right,
where contracts were given to companies to print ballot papers. They opened the tender for just a week. And all of a sudden, companies that bidded for the contracts were sidelined. They did selective tendering. And at the end of the day, they succeeded in getting whoever is to print the ballot papers. And you recall that in the eastern region, the Greater Accra, and I think the central region, some of the ballot, no, not some, all the ballot papers were recalled during the special voting. That we have to print another ballot papers because the template have landed in the hands of some individuals who have printed more ballots into the system. How did we get there? If we had gone through a very systemic procurement approach, I'm not sure this thing would have happened. Now, in recalling those ballot papers, and those ballot papers were bent to reprint another one. Do you know how much it costed us?
What was the agency in doing that?
Okay, so in the first instance, there was no agency in going for anything sole source. But the second one, where we recalled the ballot papers, we realized that there was no time for us to, play around this game. And so we spent about 10 million Ghana cedis in reprinting ballot papers for the eastern region, Greater Accra, and then the central region. These are the issues we are raising. If you look at what is on the table now that we are discussing, it's as if we are trying our best, or we're doing everything possible to grasp the current administration in corruption-related activities.
Oh, is that what you see?
Yes, that's what I see. Oh, that's what I see. If you ask me, that's what I see.
The people asking questions about sole source contracts is tantamount to they clamoring for a scandal.
Exactly. If you listen to Kennedy Osenyako, he said, although they have not emphatically established any act of corruption, but for the purposes of sole sourcing, they think that there should be accountability and all that.
What is wrong with asking for accountability?
No, it is good. It is good to ask for accountability. But you see, you don't jump the gun when they've not even clocked it. Why? Why must you just come in to say, oh, because it is sole sourcing? It means that this was what you were doing in the past. If not, why would you say because it's sole sourcing and you know very well that there is no issue of corruption in there, yet you want to make noise out of this? These things we are talking about are public records, and if you ask for it, you will get it.
In fact, the minister said it's on the website.
Exactly.
And for the state actually made an RTI request, which is how come the story came. But it appeared that they didn't have the full picture of the situation, which is what occasioned the minister to be in Parliament yesterday, explaining a blow by blow account of what the situation is.
Why must you come out to make noise over issues you have no full understanding of?
But they're asking questions to get answers. That's what journalists do.
You get your facts before you go into ask for answers.
But if you know all the answers, why do you come and ask them?
So then why did they even initiate this?
So they are asking questions. So if there are answers, let the government give them.
So it means they cannot go and fact find, get the realities of the issue, than to be calling press conferences here and there. It is needless. It is totally needless. You don't do this.
So you think the minority should keep quiet?
I'm not saying they should keep quiet, but I think they should.
But what are they asking them to do?
They should touch on relevant issues. They should touch on issues that are endemical to the growth of.
What could be more relevant than roads, which would be killing people, road accidents here and there, stalling businesses? You can't transport food from the farm gates to the markets. Prince Derek Eje was talking right now about how people get stuck in traffic, how much money you spend on fuel, the health implications, etc. What could be more important than those? National security.
Yeah. So what we need to do is to place premium on those issues when it comes to road infrastructure. Place priorities on them, so that our foods will not get rotten in the villages or in our farms. We will not be stuck in traffic when we need our energies to be, the workforce of this country to be working to, help the economic stability of this country and all that. But to go in, and you know very well that this government is doing what it's supposed to do. You had year of roads, year 1, year 2, year 3. You conducted audits into the roads that were done and all that. And
Cocoa roads.
We didn't. You even stored cocoa roads, and I don't know. They gave the money to me.
Oh no, come on. The matter is before the court. You want to be
allegedly give the money.
You want to hasten slowly.
Allegedly give the money to Chairman to me, and we didn't see any work done, but the money has been squandered.
Derek, step in for me. Does your side have the moral turpitude to be asking these questions at this time, given the fact that a year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads, and we all know pothole patching and all those things? In fact, about 95% or so of the contracts that you gave for roads were so sourced. And then we all saw the state of the roads at the time you were leaving. Question is, do you have the moral turpitude or the high ground to be asking these questions at this time?
Very good morning to you, Johnny, and then your listeners out there. Yes, we do. And I say so because last week when I came here, I mentioned that when it comes to conversations like this, the new patriotic party shouldn't be made a standard, because these are part of the reasons why the Ghanaians voted us out of office. And so there is a mandate that the government needs to deliver on.
In the morning.
The issue about soul sourcing, legally it is not wrong, but the conversation is not just about the legality of it, but the legitimacy of the soul sourcing conversation. We have a government then in opposition made conversations about soul sourcing appear as though it is criminal. We had a then candidate, John Dramani Mahama, we had Okudzeto Ablakwa, we had the governors, Kwame Abujes, on the floor of parliament, making a case out of soul sourcing conversations. And so if today, in this same country called Ghana, we have soul sourced about 71 contracts, and we think that it is okay to make jubilations around it. Bulls are trapped by their horn, and men are trapped by their words. What is the social contract that the NDC has with Ghanaians? For everybody to believe in a political party and exercise their franchise with that political party, it is a contract. And the first necessity of a contract is an offer.
That's right.
What is the offer that was made to Ghanaians when it comes to the conversation about awarding contract or road contracts? You said we were going to minimize soul sourcing.
That's 44% now. 44 compared to what you had over 90%. That's minimization, no? Johnny? Yes, sir.
Minimization. To the tune of billions of Ghana cedis.
We're talking percentage terms.
But when it's always about percentage, let's look at the nominal figures as well. If for nothing at all, the Sinohydro that we went for, that we began with the year of road, was in the region of about 2 billion. No, but you see, as a Ghanaian, if our roads are constructed, it's inures to the benefit of the ordinary Ghanaian.
That's correct.
That becomes the foundation, the basis for some of these conversations. But let's ask ourselves that in a government that a deputy chief of staff is receiving contracts under soul sourcing, can we talk about the companies that are receiving at the receiving ends of this soul sourcing?
So dig into it before you come in.
That is why we are asking
before you
questions.
Address the press.
No, but we are asking questions. We are asking questions.
Because yesterday, the indication I got from the presser addressed by Honorable Kennedy Osenyako gave me the impression that we're just on a certain goose chase, wild goose chase. He sits in Parliament. He sees the contracts. he sees the names of the contractors. He sees the contract sum. In fact, he vets it before it comes to the house for approval, etc. So for him to have addressed the press conference and not giving us any, a grasp of what the details are, but rather to also just follow what Fourth Estate said, it made me sit back and start watching that. Okay,
but Johnny,
are we being served well?
When we are being served, when the conversations about road contracts comes to the floor of Parliament, they look at the quantum. Okay, government is securing a loan from, let's say, the EU, from the World Bank, to construct routes, let's say in Ashanti region. But the onus lies on the ministry to have their processes on who they award those contracts to. And so Honorable Kennedy Osenyaku may be the ranking member he is the ranking member for roads and transport, but the minutest of details that may not be available to him. And you see,
I'm not sure I'm getting that. I've covered Parliament before.
Yes, I'm saying
and
that.
I'm saying that if, for example, Minister A comes to say that we are contracting X and X loan for X and X kilometer of roads.
Yes.
In this region, at that area, blah blah blah.
Yes.
The names of the committee, the respective committees, the select committee, would have the detail.
Yes, I'm not disputing that.
And he's
fact.
a ranking member.
Yes, I'm not disputing that fact. But I'm saying that yes, you may be aware of the companies that are going to construct the roads, but at the back of those companies, the handlers of those companies, you may have to write to RGD to have all these information.
And what's preventing him from doing that?
The process may have begun, but we are asking questions. You see, Johnny, up until the exposition of what the Deputy Chief of Staff is enjoying in this country, nobody may have thought.
As in road contracts?
Not in road contract, but if just renovation, that my namesake Derek here can handle that road contract. At least he fought for the NDC. The NDC is in government. And you have a Deputy Chief of Staff with all the resources available to him, is also awarded a contract for just a renovation under sole source. What are you telling us? You see, you have roads, when you look at the documents that were exposed, you have contractors that failed even as far back as in 2015 handling road contracts, and they are being sole source and awarded similar contracts that they failed to handle even previously. But you see, as I say all the time,
there are also contractors within 2017 and 2024 who also were giving monies to do contracts. So, for example,
these were part of the reasons why we voted out of office.
So if you put it that way, then it actually goes to negate your current cry to the people to say that bring us back in 2028.
No,
because you are telling hold on. You are my brother. So now you are telling people that you should not be counted as the standard. And then on that same ground, you are standing to say, give us the mandate in 2028.
No, okay.
You are doing yourself to undo yourself.
No, so this is the catch, Johnny. MPP was given the mandate to serve Ghanaians.
That's correct.
From 2017 to 2024. Ghanaians, to the farthest extent, were displeased with some of our actions and inactions. So they voted us out of office.
Right.
They gave the NDC the mandate. And so today, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama is the President of the Republic of Ghana. He's the President today because he presented to Ghanaians that when you vote me into office, I will minimize sole sourcing that MPP is on a penchant award of sole sourcing contracts. If you vote me into office today, teacher licensure exams will be cancelled. These were the offers they made to the ordinary Ghanaians. These were final and definite offers they made to Ghanaians. And in the case of Entry and NHTC, the court said that an offer is final and definite. And so these were the final and definite words they presented to Ghanaians. And at the back of that, Ghanaians gave them the mandate. And so if today you are awarding sole sourcing contract and you come to tell us that MPP did 95% of that, and so we are doing 44%, and then it is normal, what are you telling them?
How long ago did you realize that the MPP was not a standard?
I've been saying this all the time. Last week I told them.
But your party leadership will not be happy with you when you say MPP is not a standard.
No, you see, so it is about governance. Don't come and tell us that MPP did this and so we are doing this. You have a mandate to serve the ordinary Ghanaian.
That I agree.
That is why political actors, we are existing for. We have a mandate to serve the people. So don't make us the standard. Don't be comparing your flaws to the fact that MPP failed to do something that you are talking about today.
So Derek, you expect that the government of the day would not have any sole source contract at all?
That is not my expectation. But just as I indicated earlier, Bulls are tried by their horns and men are tried by their words.
That's correct.
And so you can't approbate and reprobate. We have videos, we have social media posts. Just at Sona just this year, the president spoke about sourcing.
And he said, except in exceptional cases.
What are the exceptional cases? What cases that do the laws make way for sourcing contract? In urgent circumstances.
The minister said, for example, the Eastern Corridor Road, national security concerns, easy transportation, etc. He mentioned all those things.
But yes, if there are exceptional cases, you can have about 10, 15 of them that are exceptional cases, and we agree. But you can't award over 100 and something contracts, and then you tell us that they are all exceptional cases, and then they are all urgent, and so it must go under social.
Is this the scandal the MPP has been waiting for?
No, we are not waiting for any scandal.
Okay.
MPP is never waiting for any scandal. We are Ghanaians, and then we wish the NDC well. We are hoping that they will deliver on their mandate. But if they are failing the ordinary Ghanaian, just not long ago, cocoa farmers were crying. Not long ago, teacher trainees were crying because you promised them and then they voted for you at the back of the fact that you said you cancel their licensure exams. But today, the majority leader who leads government business in parliament is saying they never promised that. And these are the offers you made to them. And at every breath of the offer you made to them, you are disappointing them. And so we are not expecting any scandal. We are there as a strong opposition to offer constructive criticisms to make sure that the government is on its toes and then deliver on its mandate. Why would we wake up and wish that the NDC will be scandalous? At the end of the day, when they are scandalous, the beneficiaries of the scandals, they are not my relatives.
Okay, Ebo, step in for me. Now, I'm sure you had the NDC and you're the MPP. You say you are the alternative.
Yeah, of course.
Now, we are looking for roads. I want to wake up and drive on roads that are not bumpy, that do not have potholes, that are smooth. But then at the back of it, beyond the slogan, big push, year of roads, etc., I'm also looking at not getting myself into a gamble where now it's like Matra, Makwe, Ajana 1, Ajana 2. What do you see?
Okay, let me say good morning to my colleagues here, your good self, and our listeners and viewers. You see, let me make this simple for our listeners and viewers. Nana Akufo-Addo in the year 2016, 23rd August, tweeted and said that sourcing will be a thing
of the past. Yeah, I remember that.
So he told us Ghanaians that he's not going to give any room to sourcing, right?
Right.
He ended up doing 90-something%. He told us that no room for sourcing, yet he did 90%.
It's only a fool who doesn't change his mind.
No, he did 90%. Another government has also come, said no room for sourcing except
in exceptional cases.
And the government has done 40% or 44%.
44%.
And the one who did 90% thinks he has the moral turpitude to be pointing, accusing fingers at the one who has done 40%. Does it make sense? No, does it make sense? You see, when we are talking, that's why MPP should keep quiet and allow some of us to speak.
Oh, how? But they are
of course, that's what I'm saying.
They're part of the
yes,
politics
because of what they've done. There are certain issues they can speak.
But your party has not governed before.
Yes, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. Who have governed before are telling us.
That's what I'm saying. That's the more reason why I'm saying that they should keep quiet for us to speak. Because you were given opportunity. You promised Ghanaians that there was not going to be any room for sourcing. But you did 90% sourcing, almost 100%. Over 90%, almost 100%. Then one has also come. He is doing 40%. And you that did 90% think the one who has done 40% has committed unpardonable sin.
But the MPP is admitting that it was based on that. That's why they were kicked out.
But let me tell you,
so you cannot go back to repeat the sins that they committed, which made the people kick them out.
Then that's not even the issue.
What's the issue?
I'm not even looking at the issue of the percentages. Only look at it from the perspective of percentages, they don't have any moral turpitude. But you see, the critical issue we have with the issue of sourcing is how they manipulate it. For example, let me give you a typical example. Remember Resource Access Limited, Dr. Bawumia's brother's company. According to Auditor General's report, he was given a contract that was inflated 3 times the price. If the price would have been, if that had been competitive bidding. Right. So it means the contract was increased by 200%, the value of what the contract should have been. That's what we are talking about. So if a government gives 100% sole sourcing, if there's a need for sole sourcing and the government gives 100% sole sourcing, but there's no manipulation, there's no inflation of figures, but the work can be done competitively, efficiently, I don't have any problem.
Are you not worried that the work could be falling in the hands of a smaller circle of friends?
Let me give you a typical example. You can give a competitive bidding contract to a company.
Right.
Maybe phases. The phase 1 was done through competitive bidding.
Right.
After the phase 1, you realize the person can do it better. So instead of going back to competitive bidding, which will take a longer time, you say, okay, then let me give you so that you continue, because you've proven that you have the capacity and efficiency to do it better.
Right.
But you see, let me say this. You see, what is important here for us to discuss is whether this big push is going to help us to expand this economy, for us to achieve economic growth and development.
What do you see? Tell me.
There's no way this country can develop without enhanced infrastructure. Our infrastructure in terms of roads and railways, very poor. You mentioned year of roads.
That's right.
We had 1, 2, 3, right?
Yeah, year of roads, second year of roads, another year of roads.
Yeah. What happened after all this?
You didn't see the roads.
I mean, look at the roads.
You didn't see the roads. Mr. Mwakwata asked that we should watch.
And do you remember something that he said? He said we are moving fast. You people should catch up.
Did you not see the roads?
Which of the roads did you see?
But we started the Kaswa Winneba Road. It was started under the MPP.
And what
right?
again?
And what was the level? The Pokwasi thing, the 4th year,
and which one?
Swami
interchange,
Tamale. Of course, I mean you acknowledge that it was started. The projects were started.
If within 8 years, work MPP did in respect of road construction.
But not all of the roads were started 8 years ago.
I'm saying
or 9
that
years
I'm
ago.
saying the work MPP did was very abysmal.
Oh, come on, please.
Given the resources that was spent and the result that came out. You see, let's say
but the
things as they
president
are.
commissioned some roads. What are you going on about?
Some of the roads were not completed by commission.
Oh, come on.
Just for political expediency.
No, the Obechebi Lamte roundabout like that.
No.
It's working.
Johnny.
Oh, please, come on, please.
Johnny, do you know? They told us.
Wait, one at a time.
They told us.
You're asking me for examples. I'm giving you examples.
They told us they had done, was it 13,000 kilometers or something like that? You remember?
Yes, 10,000 plus.
They mentioned 13,000, which was like a distance from here to China. You know that?
No, here to London. Oh.
China, if you do China.
China.
From here to China is about 13,000 kilometers. So they told us that they constructed routes that can give us that kind of mileage. So if we can have that mileage in Ghana, roads, and we are still struggling, then how did we use our money? You see, the impression was that they had spent money to the tune of 13,000 kilometers of roads. The money they spent is supposed to give us that because you award a contract on the basis of kilometers.
But are you also paying attention to the fact that sometimes contractors raise certificates? It takes time for them to be able to get their monies. So what they do is that when they prepare the certificate, they pad it up a bit, so to answer the conundrum that the banks may raise in terms of their interest rates and the wait period and all of that. But businessmen do that all the time.
That's not the issue. The issue is that we pump in so much, but we had so little out of it. And that is the issue I have.
You are not being appreciative of President
No. You see,
Akufo-Addo.
it's my tax. It's my tax that is used, though. It is not a political party's money. It is the taxpayers' money that is used. So when you don't use the money well, if you inflate contract figures, I mean, I'll give you an example of Dr. Baomia's brother's company. Source inflated 3 times the price. According to this is not allegation. Auditor General's report.
Right.
We've lived with all these issues. We've moved on. My brother says MPP should not be standard. Which one should be standard? Which one should be standard?
But the NDC came and they said they can do better.
No, I'm coming. Which one should be standard?
The NDC now.
No. You see, standard can be ahead of you or behind you. The standard can be ahead of you or behind you. So if MPP is still our standard, that's why we reference them.
Oh, but MPP cannot be your standard.
You see, let me tell you.
The man
See,
said,
let me tell you why
standard.
MPP is.
You are
Let
insisting
me tell you,
on
the
making
MPP
him
is
a standard.
standard. MPP is standard because you look back and you don't want to repeat the mistake they made. It's a standard.
But Ebo, you used
Then
to be part
where-
of the MPP. Now the party that you used
Let
to
me
be
tell
part
you,
of.
I've told you, I left MPP in 2010. And Akufado's regime, I was not part of the. I left MPP in 2010. 6 years before Nana
You
became
don't
president.
have. You were not part.
No, I left MPP. In fact, I left politics in general in 2010. I came after 10 years, 2020, I came back. So I was not part of Nanado's whatever he did and all that. So that Nanado's MPP. Oh, please don't add me to it.
Why are you disassociating?
No,
yourself?
No. Don't add me to it. No, don't add me. I didn't even. You see, even when I came back 2020, let me tell you this. I had friends who were ministers, who were CEOs and all that. I didn't visit any of them. I didn't call any of them. I stayed away.
Stubborn proud.
Yes. I will eat my gari and pepper. I will go. So, but the point is that, you see, Johnny.
Okay. Yes.
Johnny, the issue is that MPP should allow us to criticize this government, if possible.
You say they have lost their right to criticize.
No, I said something.
That is not. I mean, you cannot have a democracy like that.
For example,
you can't have a democracy like that.
On cocoa board issue, look at their performance. Look at corruption. Look at the kind of mismanagement that went on.
Does it mean they should keep quiet when they see something going wrong?
No. You see, they should. You see, he said something. He said Ghanaians voted them out.
Yes.
And brought in MPP. So
NDC.
NDC, if they are doing anything that is not good, Ghanaians must be the one to speak. Not you. When you did the worst.
But am I a Togolese, Ebo? Am I not a Ghanaian?
But you are a political party. Not every Ghanaian belongs to a political party.
So you mean that if you are...
I'm saying that, for example, I just gave you an example.
If you don't belong to a subsidiary of the NDC that is the UP plus, then you have the legitimate to talk.
No, there's nothing like subsidiary.
No, but UP plus is a branch of the NDC.
You people have used the term annex and all that. It's not going to wash. The point I'm making is that if you did 90% of wrong and somebody has done 44%, what moral authority do you have to now condemn and criticize the person who has done 40? You should rather praise the person for not doing what you did.
So with this analogy,
the same thing. It's my turn.
Then don't post questions at me.
I've not posted any question. I've not posted any question. And I'm saying that even in the issue of cocoa board, look at the hypocrisy there. You have destroyed cocoa board. Now cocoa board is in financial crisis because of your mismanagement and corruption. To the extent that you even went and lied to the financiers. Your financiers, you lied to them that I could supply you 700,000 metric tons of cocoa. When you know you don't have it, you took that money, you squandered the money, you only supplied 400,000. You knew you didn't have it, but you went because of elections, because of internal elections and your 2024 election. You went and lied to these white people for finance. No, but that's what they did.
No.
You see, check the record.
Take your time. No, relax. Okay. Now make your point.
Give me water to drink. Yeah. You see, sometimes it's
bring
annoying.
Him water.
You see, it is annoying to hear MPP people speak on certain matters. I say there are certain matters they can speak on.
Like what?
No, like even 6th March. So even 6th March, even let's say World Cup and all that. But we are talking about.
Are you downplaying the intellectuals in the MPP?
What intellectuals? You see, this country.
Ebo.
Oh, you see?
It's okay.
No.
It's okay.
No. You see, let me land there.
But don't say there aren't intellectuals in the MPP.
You see,
It's not.
I've not said there are no intellectuals.
Yeah,
I have mates there. I have friends there. There are intellectuals there.
And if the intellectuals are there, they must contribute to national debate.
What's the output of the intellectuals? You give you an economy that you took you to the IMF.
The economy that was hit by Russia-Ukraine war, COVID.
Which of them? COVID, you know what COVID gave us? 21 billion. COVID gave us 21 billion. Was it not shared among party folks? Then Russia-Ukraine war. I've said it. Every external, how do you call it? Shock would have impact. But it depends on how you've also done your things internally. Let me tell you, what collapsed Ghana's economy was not external shock, was internal corruption. mismanagement and wasteful expenditure. How can you spend $97 million to create a hole and expect your economy to do well?
Prince, Derek KJ, closing thoughts on this one, and then we'll switch the topic. So now, where do we go from here? The minister has come to say his. The MPP have said theirs. I'm sure that in the coming days, as Derek said, some more detail may emerge. Fourth Estate has also given us that story. But for the ordinary Ghanaian, what should we be expecting from your government going forward?
Well, quickly, Batal. First, I think that there was a lot of mischief in trying to drag in, I don't know which personality was trying to throw in, constantly referring to a deputy chief of staff without mentioning name, cowardly.
Well, the gold board thing has mentioned Stan Dogbe and his brother. Correct?
Yes. So that was very cowardly. Reason being that the MPP will be happy to tell you that corporate entities have their own identity, and so.
But when you lift the veil, you will find.
So Palugu, when we lift the veil, we'll see Bawumia there, right?
I don't know who is behind the veil in the Palugu issue.
You know, Ebo mentioned a company that had tripled.
That's right. Contracts. Right.
Yes. So we'll see Bawumia there. You see, I don't know why they bothered to bring Bawumia back, because from his own, statements, he made a case for why they shouldn't have brought Bawumia, because not only has he been rejected, but he will be rejected again on the strength of his argument. Then he actually, in fact, I don't know why he did that to the ranking member. I said the ranking member had not done research at all. He didn't know the details.
He didn't say that.
Out speaking. Yes, he said, well, we pushed him to whether he had his facts, his duck in a row. He had also indicated, or I think one of them had indicated that as ranking member, he should have his facts. Then he said the man didn't have the facts.
He didn't say the man didn't have the facts.
He didn't have the facts.
He said he didn't have the full facts.
Yes, so he didn't have the full facts.
No,
so
he had some.
So why was he rushing to the market?
No, but there'll be some more in the coming days.
But he didn't even give any facts apart from what Fourth Estate has said. So what was his facts? Was it Fourth Estate's his? Is that his statement? You see, anyway, let's allow them. They are not the standard. As he said, I agree with him. They are not the standard. They will never be the standard. Ghanaians are not even interested. Ghanaians want to see delivery of results. John Mahama has a limited tenure. He has only one term, unless you're happy to give him a second term, are you? No, so he has 4 years.
But I thought you were having a conversation about the law.
Don't worry. Ghanaians want him. You don't. And
but the law precludes John Mahama from recontesting.
I don't think we want to test it.
Yeah.
It doesn't preclude him. Until it's tested, it doesn't. But let's not even poke the lion.
The man has said he is not interested in a third term.
Yeah, but if you go and poke the bear, and it turns out that he has a second term option.
But the man
is delivering.
The man at the heart of the conversation said, hold on. Prior to that, at the UN, he has said that he is not interested in the third term.
Did you listen to him? Hey, look,
he said he's not interested.
If the world was allowed to vote, Mahama will win.
No.
If Ghanaians are allowed to vote, Mahama will win.
No, he said he doesn't like
it. Even in MPP against Bawumia, he will win. Bawumia is not the standard. He's not a gold standard.
No, we're not talking Dr. Bawumia now. We're talking about roads.
If you like, let's
what do we do?
We don't pull out Palugu right now. Palugu.
Say again.
Palugu.
We should go to Palugu.
Yes, and
go and do what?
Between Mahama and Bawumia.
That's not what we are doing. We're looking at how to construct the road along the Palugu road, the Palugu area. Yes. We're looking at the road. But how your government is going to fix that?
Akufo-Addo allowed Bawumia to kind of tell Ghanaians.
That's not what we are talking about. I would have to put your microphone off. We're talking about roads.
You don't know how he's doing AI.
Where do we go from here? The demand of the people for good roads is high. Your government has the headache of fixing it.
Yes.
But in your bid to fix it, this has come up.
Oh, it's just a red herring, I think, to kind of destabilize the thoughts of the minister and his deputy and the ministry for the matter, and also put some, kind of funny, thing around the big push, even when it's delivered. I mean, that's the whole essence of what they've done. Just like they went on a tirade about cocoa, only to realize that Ghana was paying twice as much as Cote d'Ivoire and so on. I mean, it's just a matter of time. As for line, that is their.
I hear you.
Their forte, but with time,
I hear you.
nice would,
I could take a minute on this, and we have to switch topics.
Do you even know that the president himself had violated the constitution of Ghana? He swore an oath that he's going to protect and defend the constitution, and the constitution mandates that if someone wants to go for a third term, we do
a referendum.
So did the president know that there's a referendum in the constitution?
But it is his choice.
But he swore an oath to defend the constitution.
But now he has.
And now you have dashed the constitution under the carpet.
I'm not getting what you.
I'm trying to understand you.
I'm just trying to get the import of what he's saying.
You're trying to force the president.
I'm not forcing him. I'm not forcing him.
Can you force
society of today?
No, I'm not.
Can you force a man to do what he says?
I am not forcing him. Initially he would have run, but for the question they asked him at BBC or whatever, it's for which reason that's happened that way. But for me, I believe in the constitution, and if there's a need that we go for it, why not? It is not about President John Dramani Mahama. It's about the constitution. Perhaps Johnnie could be the person and may want to run for the third term.
No, I want to be president
Or
of
the
the
party
men's
wants him
fellowship.
to run.
The men's
What if
fellowship in my
Ghanaians-
church.
What if Ghanaians? So, Johnnie, I mean, on the conversation around these road contracts, I recall in one of the minister's interview that because of this act of impunity and so sourcing within the previous administration, they were over invoicing, where they indicated that they have to pay about 500 million Ghana cedis to a contractor. Now, when they spoke to the contractor, he says, "No, I don't owe you
you don't owe me.
You don't owe me 500. It's just around 200." He said, "No, in our records, it shows that we owe you 500." He said, "No, you don't owe me such amount of money." Who did that? Where are the people? Are they walking in the streets of Ghana? What are we doing to them? You see the Boteman Sports Complex, the road construction.
Yeah.
If you go there now, the road is undergoing a redevelopment.
Yeah. In fact, if you listen to the minister yesterday, he was talking about redevelopment for most of the roads.
Exactly. Meanwhile, these are roads that have been awarded contracts to people, taking the money, over invoiced.
Should we be?
And now we are going back again to using our money.
Should we be asking the technocrats questions too?
We should be asking them.
Sorry, I think that perhaps the argument rather should be, and maybe if the MPP really wants to nail the minister, why are they trying to save people who, under the watch of the MPP, did this shoddy work and are not either in court?
That is what both of.
If you cede your time again to Prince Derek, I'll take it from you and give it. Yes.
So let me conclude. So I think on the premise of what you said, that is what has been happening. They tend to rub each other's back. Honorable?
Yeah, scratch my back.
Yes, scratch my back and scratch your back.
I hear you.
So we should make sure that those who were engaged in these acts should be brought to book.
Derek, take a bite on this one. Now we have said what we may. The minister has responded. Will it end the debate?
It doesn't end the debate, but we in the MPP are saying that we should be principled in this country. You can't, on one breath, because you're in opposition and you want power, you make it look as if sole sourcing is criminal, and so Ghanaians should come chasing after the MPP out of office because we have sole source contracts. And today you tell us that okay, this person stole 90, we are stealing 44, and so it makes sense. That analogy doesn't function. And so if sole sourcing wasn't bad as we are saying today, why did we make it look as though it was a criminal venture some years ago? And so we should be principled in this country. NDC, for lack of better words, have been unprincipled. Whatever they presented to Ghanaians, that being the reason why they were voted into office, they are doing contrary to the promises that they made to the ordinary Ghanaian.
For example,
from the Women's Development Bank, the 24-hour economy, cancellation of teacher licensure exams, a lot of things.
I think money had been allocated for.
But last year, money was allocated for preparatory works, but not a single city was disbursed. And what are they saying? And so the fact that the minister comes to Parliament to say that...
But that's the same thing he did with Youth Bank. You remember Youth Bank?
No, but...
Kenofriata's Youth Bank with a C,
Johnnie,
with a K, with
Johnnie,
a Q.
So we didn't put our words into practice by establishing the Youth Bank.
Where is Kenofriata, by the way?
Kenofriata is resting outside the country.
Yes, I have not invited you. Your mic is off. Focus on me, please.
Yes.
Go ahead.
And so we didn't establish the youth bank as we promised, and we were voted out of office. That has been my cry all the time. And so when we are prompting to you your failures, now come and be questioning the MPP that you also said you do. But that is the reason we're voted out of office. And I always say that a time and a day is coming that the ordinary Ghanaian in Goso, the ordinary Ghanaian in Fufu, the ordinary Ghanaian in Bantama, they will rise up in arms against political actors. And the four of us here, that time will come and there will be no escape route for us.
Look, for the MPP, yes, maybe. No.
Hey, I'm not
so those who are arrested,
stealing.
So he's talking about trust.
Yes,
in the
trust, the hope, the confidence that the people repose in political actors. You promise somebody a women development bank. March 2026. You promise somebody a Jumeirah today. The Eric J is telling us that he will make the disbursements as and when the president is on his reset store. And so the president was in Brun region. They've disbursed for Brun region. What about those in Accra? What about those in Ashanti region?
So Derek, I'm wondering. The MPP was very vocal in the 2024 campaigns. And if Ghanaians had voted for you, you would have been in power by now.
Yes.
Would you have been singing the same song that you are not a standard, that the reason you were voted out, and that we should not be questioning you? Because you gave us every impression that you have performed better.
Yes, to the best of our ability and knowledge. The contract that we entered into with the Ghanaian people, you see, when we say these things, the people do not want us to speak about it.
Okay.
But you talk about COVID giving us 21 billion, when almost every government employee was home not working, but government was paying their salaries. Where were you expecting those monies to be coming from? And these are things that we fail to answer them. But we make it look like as though when the 21 billion that you are saying came into our economy, a certain President Akufo-Addo's house, and then they distributed among themselves.
Hold on. When you say people were not working and yet were being paid, I find it hard to understand. I find it hard to understand. That statement had been made many times.
Yes.
And I find it difficult to comprehend.
What is the difficulty, Johnny?
The difficulty here is that, for example, the example is made of, the country was under lockdown and we fed. Look, I came to work throughout the period. There was never a day during COVID that I rested at home.
Yes.
I came to work throughout the period,
Yes.
which meant that I was making money here, and that each time my salary came, some deduction was made from my salary into the government kitty. So I will not agree with you when you say we're not working but we're being paid. That's one. I'm coming.
Okay.
Now, two, the lockdown happened for only 3 weeks in March.
Okay.
And it was not the entire country.
Okay.
It was in Kaswa,
Okay.
Tema, Accra, Kumasi. So it was not the entire country. Number three, there were other essential services post the lockdown that were working, that were making money. Passport office was working, Lands Commission was working, Birth and Death Registry was working, the various hospitals were working. You can mention many. The military officers, police officers, fire service, prisons, immigration. They were all called essential service workers. People who were running transportation services were working, the rail workers were working, all of those.
Some were working from home.
So when we say...
I can even vouch for the fact that on 20th April 2020, that was during, post the lockdown.
Right.
And in the same year, that the EC chairperson's husband was given land.
Oh, please, I beg you.
Yes.
I beg you. Okay.
Oh, yes.
I beg you. That's not work. That's not work.
Solomon,
that's not work. Allow me.
Yes.
Allow me.
Solomon Wusu has taken the matter to listen.
Okay, so let them finish that. But I'm saying that. So when the statement is made that we're not working but we're being paid, I find it strange.
No, but
pretty much the same way I find it strange when we're told that we're giving free water, free electricity, and in the end we paid for it. I find it strange.
No, but Johnny.
Yes.
Just last week ago, the finance minister came telling us that even in our economy that we've all been working from January to up until this time, he had to borrow 17 billion to be able to make
because of the state of the economy.
After 1 year of managing our economy.
From where?
Do you
no, but Johnny, you see, these are things that I find it very hard and very difficult to comprehend. When you talk about cocoa sector crisis, but we have the Cocoa Board that just after assuming the office as a CEO for Cocoa Board, he announced an increment to the farm gate price. And so if after 1 year there is a reduction, you go back to blame the MPP.
Based on international market price.
Please. If there is a crisis at 3FM and Johnny, you are made the general manager. Your first year should be where you handle your crisis, because that is where you are a manager for.
But you cannot put a timeline to it.
You can't assume.
Look,
you can't assume an office, renovate your residence and be living like an Arabian king. Renovate your office, buy Toyota Hiluxes for your directors, buy Land Cruisers for executive management, buy trucks and what have you for operational works. And after a year, you come back and tell us that Cocoa Board is in debt. Cocoa Board in debt, and then you order over 100 Toyota Hiluxes.
Do you realize that the cocoa sector was fraught with a lot of difficulty? PBC, and I had cause to read a letter from PBC staff here. PBC was collapsed. In fact, PBC was taken to court. They lost their case. Their vehicles were auctioned under your watch. PBC.
Johnny.
That's within the cocoa sector.
Johnny,
that's just one leg
Johnny,
of the cocoa sector.
You see, the conversation comes to the point that...
So when you come and say that managing it from where, then you're actually shooting yourself in the foot.
No, Johnny.
I'm just guiding you.
PBC was collapsed. Cocoa Board was for lack of better words, was in crisis. Even if I'm to admit your words, we collapsed Cocoa Board. Assuming we did that. Assuming we did that.
Don't be accepting.
No,
his
I'm
words.
not accepting his words, but I'm saying assuming we did that, as you people are saying, assuming that we collapsed Cocoa Board, you come and then the first thing that you do is to order 100 Toyota Hiluxes.
There should have been austerity.
But what is the point? Because it's in shambles as you claim, and you have the financial muscle or you have the commitment to order 100 Toyota Hiluxes, to order Land Cruisers for executive management. And when you come back and you tell the farmer that I bet Cocoa Board in crisis, what are you telling the farmer? I mean, we must be as plain as we can to handle some of these conversations. You don't come to an agency or a company, you meet it in crisis, you meet it in shambles as you are always propagating. And the first thing that you do is to make sure that your people are comfortable.
So the first thing they should have done was to jail all of you.
Maybe if Ora was working.
Okay.
Ora will work.
Gentlemen, I've not taken my second bite.
50 months down the
It will
lane.
take a 1 minute. We have to go for a break.
Yeah, my second bite. Quickly,
yes,
you see, on the issue of, we've all admitted that sole sourcing in and of itself is not bad. If MPP can prove, just as Baumia's brother contract was inflated 3 times, 200% increment or inflation, if they can prove that NDC has done something like that, then we will have a problem with the sole sourcing they've done. Are you getting the point I'm making? So it's not just about the sole sourcing, but what goes into the sole sourcing. That is what is important. Now, 2, let me make this point. No prudent economic manager would build 24-hour economy on the kind of economy that was bequeathed to this government. Stabilization was necessary. The foundation on which you build or implement a very important policy like 24-hour economy is very important. If you look at the economy that was bequeathed to this government, check all the macroeconomic indicators. Check everything that you need to check as the foundation of the economy.
Rate, inflation.
Everything was in shambles. Everything was in a state
policy.
of haywire. So the wisest thing for this government to do was to stabilize the economy, which they have done. That is, if you read our GTP, that's what we said we were going to do if Ghanaians are giving us power.
You saw the problem.
Yes, that the first year should be stabilization, which this government has done. Now, I expect this government to build on the stabilization, make sure they consolidate the gains.
How fast?
They consolidate the gains.
How fast?
Yes, and also, roll out the 24-hour economy.
That's the question that's been asked by Derek.
Yeah, so this year, for example, I expect that they roll out. I have my own proposition in terms of implementation of 24-hour economy. I have put it out. I've even written to the secretariat that if you can do it 4 years, four regions per 4 years, that would be okay. 16 years, we can establish it across the country. We don't have to rush it because MPP is making noise about it. You see, MPP is making noise about it. You see, let me say this. The Cocoa Board issue, let me give you a very practical example.
Quick
one. We said we were going to rehabilitate cocoa farms. So we went for a loan of $350 million from ADB, Africa Development Bank.
That's right.
We had done all the calculations, and we realized that amount of money could do 160 164,000 or so metric ton, 100 something. It was in the hundreds, 160 something thousand. So you went for the money for that 165,000 or 160,000 hectares of the cocoa farm. Now listen to this. You did only 40,000. Not that you did only 40,000 with the $350,000 you went for, the loan you went for. You went into the account of Cocoa Board to take extra 700 million Ghana cedis. 700 million. Can you imagine if they had not taken that 700 million? Because obviously the money was squandered. If they had not taken that 700 million and the money was sitting in the company's account and they were having these challenges, couldn't they have used the money to defray some of the challenges that they are going through?
So you say the money has been spent?
So misuse of, because the money was there, they needed to chop it. Oh,
Ebo.
No, you see, Johnny, if you don't say things the way they are, these people will always, like cocoa sacks. Cocoa, you know cocoa sacks, juice sacks. You know they have expiry date.
Yes.
About 2 years or 3 years, they will expire.
Yeah.
So why do you import cocoa sacks for 10 years? When you know it has expiry date?
The Lord will take care of us. We'll see you after this break.
The Ghana Exim Bank is 10 years old. Hooray! And to commemorate this,
the Electoral Commission has reiterated its commitment to organizing free and fair elections this December.
How's your week treating you? I'm here to serve you great music tidbits for your at-work listening pleasure.
Rastafari, Rastafari, Rastafari. Our Father, who art in Zion, Kanamawe, Kanamawe, Kanamawe. Oh, turn it up!
Come into the mountains, sight and I grandpa.
It's time to drive you home in style with great music, the 411 and all your favorite songs, what's happening around town, and so much more.
And in the headlines today, the two leading political parties have been addressing the public on allegations of corruption. The Black Stars coach has unveiled his squad for the upcoming games, and there are some interesting names.
Pull up! The weekend is here and it's time to turn up. Get your dancing shoes on, Lego.
We really do have it all. It's a premium mix of information and entertainment every single day on 3FM 92.7, your urban lifestyle radio.
In the silence, something was growing. The journey continues. The calm before the storm. You can't mute a force that was born to speak. You can't bury rhythm. It rewrites itself. Louder. Every signal lost finds its way back to the source. This is not a comeback, it's a recalibration. This is the takeover. This is Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. Driving you home with good vibes, good conversations, and the freshest hits. Hop in, take a ride. Trigmatic on 3FM Drive. 3FM, your urban lifestyle radio.
The Electoral Commission.
Forced with their limbs chained and shackled into the hold of cargo ships. They remain naked, packed like sardines during the month-long journey through the Middle Passage. Not all those who were loaded onto the ships survived the voyage. A number of the ships sank with their entire human cargo. Others who fell sick were thrown overboard. And a few who preferred death to captivity voluntarily jumped overboard. It is believed that 10 to 20% of enslaved people died in the Middle Passage. Whenever a ship arrived at its destination, the enslaved people, still naked, were taken to the market where they were inspected and appraised like livestock. They were then placed on an auction block in front of an audience of potential buyers and sold to the highest bidder. Once they arrived on the plantation where they would work and live for a lifetime, they were also stripped of their names. And so you were no longer Fatu, or Kofi, or Bubakar, or Nanayao, or Emenka, Nayong, or Hamisu. You were given names like Ben, Jemima, John, Toby, or Mary.
I said the promised land is now the Philippines. I tell you, promised land is now Bahamas. Promised land is not Colombia. Promised land is a state of mind.
As the President of the Republic, John Dramani Mahama, today will make a proposal, file a motion for a vote. We're looking at reparation. Well, let me begin this one with you. We have very little time left. The call by Africa for reparation, is it just going to be another talk shop, or do you see light at the end of the tunnel? It could be an oncoming train. Ibo?
You see, it's a good call. It's a good call. You know, we are looking at making amends for wrong done to you. And if you look at the issues, whether you look at it from the perspective of slave trade, slavery itself, and then the exploitation of our resources, exploitation of our even human resources. So it's a big thing. As I said, it's a good call. But for me, no matter how much of our resources or how many of our resources we're taking, I think we still have enough to be able to make it as a continent. The problem is not, for me, the problem is not what they did to us, but the problem is what we are doing to ourselves.
Right.
Whatever they did to us is past and gone. But what are we doing to ourselves as Africans?
Right.
Why haven't we seen the need to come together as a continent to form United States of Africa? Why haven't we? Because that's the only way we can be strong. That's the only way we can develop this continent. If you approach things as standalone countries, negotiating, doing things, it's not going to work for us. Even this call, if you don't speak as a collective force, and it becomes if you like, something that individual countries are pushing, it's going to be difficult for us. So yes, slave trade, exploitation of our natural resources, and whatever they did to us, instead of allowing it to, if you like, always putting us in a very disadvantaged position, I think it should rather spur us on and take it as a challenge that regardless of what it did to us, we are very resilient people. Let's see how we can even manage our resources well. Yes, if they did this to us and even our own politicians are also stealing from us, but maybe perhaps the only difference is that
Sunrise on 3FM, the best in the morning.
If you compare the two, the scale. But if you look at what we are doing to ourselves, even as a continent, the way politicians are stealing, and even when they steal, they send the money abroad.
Okay. It leaves much to be desired.
Yeah, it leaves much to be desired. So it's a good call, and I like the way you see. But I don't know how it's going to be. Whether it's going to be
wait for
apology, compensation, or restitution. I don't know which form it's going to take. But
we'll
whatever
to the
form it takes,
later.
whichever form it takes, I think it's a good call.
President Derek.
Yeah, it's a good call.
Yeah.
Reparation.
Well, I think all those who have just listened, even to the small soundbite of the president, would say this is a man whose time has really come. And in his legacy term, I think he's not just doing it for Ghana. He's not doing it for just Africa, but he's doing it for wealth, history, records. And I think that we must all support this cause. He's today hoping to move the motion, and for a vote to be passed that would, as it were, put on record that this was the worst thing that humanity has done to itself. And I think that for me, is the first important thing. Acknowledgement. Then the second thing is that if you acknowledge that you've done someone wrong, the apology must come. Beyond the apology, there must be restitution. And restitution need not come only in financial terms, but it must come also with some financial, because everything must have consequences. In fact, we cannot go and undo what people did for the Americas. We cannot go and undo what the UK, including some banks, benefited from, the slave trade and slavery as a whole, even beyond the slave trade. And if you look at what Africa has lost in terms of time, if it can be abridged in some way by the wealth contribution, deliberate. I mean, there must be some deliberate effort to do something. It's not just, leave it to chance. And I listened not just to the president, but I listened to speaker after speaker.
Sunrise on
each one
3
made a very
FM,
solid
the best
case.
Okay, so we're sharing the time. Mizako, thank you. I'm grateful.
I think that
No, he has a lot to say.
I think that this has become very important. Over years, there have been ongoing conversations and discussions about the transatlantic slave trade that I think displays over an estimated number of 12.5 million Africans within the 16th and the 17th century, which historians have said that it contributed a very route demographic, devastation and economic disruptions. And
Sunrise on 3 FM, the best in the morning.
We need to situate this in a very beautiful and proper context, in the sense that if you are looking for reparation, what kind of reparation are we looking out for? One, is it retributive justice or restorative justice? For me, retributive justice, we'll just call out the people who, masterminded all these and did all these atrocities to us. Unfortunately, they are not living. Of course, they not living does not eliminate the fact that these were human rights violations. And so it is important that we come together, play a role in ensuring that we address this historical injustice, the colonial exploitation, and the systemic violation of human rights within the African
Thank you very much. Mr. Ejekum, you have the closing thoughts on this.
I like that name better.
Mr. Derek Ejekum.
No.
Go ahead.
The other one is AJ Nimboatin.
Yes.
You remember the AJ Nimboatin, AJ?
Yes.
The PPA boss.
Yeah, PPA
What
boss.
has happened to his case?
Oh, please.
But your superior parties in government.
I beg you. I beg you.
Won't you let me have
Is that my superior party?
Allow him. Reparation.
Yes, Johnnie, reparation is about we seeking for justice, for accountability, for equality. But the catch is that the reparation isn't just about what the West owes we the Africans, but what our leaders owe to their people should also be looked at. President John Romano Mahama can be at the UN seeking reparation, seeking that the West corrects their wrongs, whilst in Ghana we can remove a Chief Justice by dint of transferring a staff. Whilst in Ghana, Kofi Ofosu Kansa would sit on a panel and...
The Chief Justice was...
No, I was there. Kofi Ofosu Kansa, I was there with him on that program.
Yeah.
He
But-
lied.
but-
He
but-
lied.
Ebo, let me have my
He
time.
lied.
Ebo, let
No,
me
you
have my
mentioned.
time.
I was on the program with him.
Ebo, let me have my time.
He lied.
Why do you want to create a why do you want to create a certain narration for me? I am saying that we are seeking for justice. No. Let me
See the way he did the collection. You see the way he did the collection.
Let me have my time. No, Derek, you don't have my time. Derek, you don't have my time.
I would have agreed if he had said Ken Ofrata was a victim of the transatlantic.
Let me have my time. I am saying that we can't be in the West and we are seeking for justice for things that happened so many years ago. When in our country there are questions about justice. That's all I'm saying.
No, Ken Ofrata running away.
That's what I'm saying.
Like Ken Ofrata running away.
No, Johnny. That's what I'm saying.
No, Ken Ofrata has run away.
Thank you. Mr. Derek Ejekum of the MPP, I'm grateful. Mr. Usiaku of the election with Ghana, I'm grateful. Mr. Prince Derek Ejay of the NDC, I'm grateful. And Mr. Ebo Bachman of the United Party, I'm grateful. We're now time for birthdays.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
And if it's your birthday today, happy birthday to you. We love and celebrate your very first birthday. It's to Dorothy Edinam Zenti. Dorothy Edinam Zenti. Today is your birthday. This is from Gladys and Ellen of the Niche Confectionery Ghana Limited. It's your birthday today, Dorothy. Happy birthday to you. Also, a happy 70th birthday celebration to Mr. Godfrey Donto of 37 Military Hospital fame. It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you, Mr. Godfrey Donto of 37 Military Hospital fame. Also to you, Frederick Kunzo Tiani, the Kunzo himself, a very dedicated production assistant here, and it's his birthday today. His grandfather's house was broken for the Poalugum multipurpose dam, but he doesn't have it. But happy birthday to you, Kunzo Tiani. It's your birthday today. Also to you, a very special one to the Right Reverend Dr. George Kote Nikwe, the Right Reverend Dr. George Kote Nikwe. You're the Anglican Bishop of the Diocese of Tema. Today is your birthday.